morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show. I wanted to do my tie in front of you because somebody told me, somebody called me a maggot loser and says, take that clip on tie off. So I want to show people the kind of nut that I like on my ties, okay? There is a simple nut, but I always like a double. I think it's called a Windsor double nut. And the way that you do this, you guys probably know, but I gotta clear my reputation here. Either that or I'll make it worse. All right, you want to put it underneath one time. Come across the other side, make it look nice and neat. Here, same side. Come inside from the again. And what this creates is what I like to call a little heart. Now, the tighter that you make it, the better the little diamond's gonna look. You make it go across. Put it through the loop. And then you pull up. Just like that. And there's your double Windsor knot. I thought that I give you a little show on that. All right, now that you guys see how that works, I want to make it nice. I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. Hope everything is good. Thank you for the offer of buying me a shirt and a tie, I think is what I heard. I heard a shirt and a tie. Don't go cheap on me now. If you want to dress me, you got to do it. You got to dress me right. All right, there we go. All right, I don't have a mirror, so I can't check. All right, there we go. I like it nice and long. Okay. That's your little entertainment for the day. And, of course, I have to prove myself sometimes. And I know you guys were not going to tell me to fix my collar, but that's okay. And there you go, people. I think that looks good. Feels good. I think it looks good. The screen that I have here is too small. Let me see this way. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Hey, thank you for joining me here. It looks like we have just a couple of people in here. But if you guys were not with me last night, man, you missed it. It was, I think it was pretty good. You guys like my little Dennis Herrera show? Oh man, I've been doing a lot of research. Not on the news. On the news, I've been listening to the news, but I've been doing a lot of research on trying to run a campaign and the whole thing, and it's been a handful. I do want to go ahead and play a haggle from President Trump. You guys may have already seen it, but if you haven't, you're going to see it now. All right. I think we're doing good. I think I'm losing some libtards from my channel. I don't know if that's a good thing, to be honest. But, this I made my channel for entertainment so that we can laugh and we can talk politics and religion. And it seems sometimes that people either don't have a sense of humor, either people just don't want to have conversations. I already have people calling in, and I know they're very leftist. They hate Trump and all this stuff. But I wish they'd call in. And I mean, I know the reason why they do what they do. They like to troll, and they like to try to make somebody look bad. I get that. I'm fine with that. But that's not what this show is about. And I wish that they would understand the participation that I ask of them. You know, some of them, they just want to have this gotcha moment. They want to just trash me, or they want to make my show their show. And well, I'm not putting up with that. I don't understand what the purpose is to go on somebody's channel just to go and trash them. I don't understand that. I tried going on somebody else's channel, and the guy was like hella rude, and I'm just like, you say you wanted an opinion. I'm okay with your opinion, and I said I have a channel as well. I said, but you know what I ask for people is like, I want you to tell me if you're gonna go against me on something, if you're gonna disagree with a comment that I made, I want you to tell me why, and I want you to tell me how I can fix it. So if we're talking about the economy, okay, what about the economy? How can we fix it? Well, this is what I got. You're hearing me, right? You guys all hear me. You don't have to ask me a question and ask me, so what do you think we should do about the economy? I've been telling you about the economy. So don't call to ask me questions on something that I'm already talking about. This is why I say stay on subject. Let's make sure that we're understanding what is happening. And sometimes people, they just don't want to listen. If you want to play games, play games, but don't do it on my time. Don't do it on my time. You want to have a good time. You want to have some good entertainment. Well, let's get some good entertainment. Let's get some drama going. But just be respectful. People don't understand what it means to be respectful. They're like, oh, well, oh my God, you're over here and you're calling people retards. That's not respectful. That's not the respectful that I'm talking about. You can call each other names and all that stuff and still be respectful. If I really thought that you were handicapped or like mentally disabled, I wouldn't be calling you those names. I mean, that is the medical word, but I wouldn't be calling you those names because then I will be actually making fun of you, but you actually have a disability too. Where people that I believe that have a normal way of thinking, that they're not retarded, but sometimes the way they act is like, I'm trying to give you the benefit of doubt. I'm trying to give you the benefit of doubt, and that's kind of how I am. It probably doesn't even make sense to you guys as well, but yesterday we had we heard part of the hearing on birthright citizenship, and there was one guy that actually said everything that I say, interprets the Constitution the way that I interpret the Constitution. And I find it fascinating that other people don't see it like that. I wonder what happens with these people. I wonder what makes them think that the Constitution of the United States of America belongs to illegal immigrants. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Let me adjust this thing. It's too low. Let's see. There we go. I noticed on the account that I have here for monitoring, I didn't get a notification about this live. I wonder why. Interesting. You guys got a notification before you came in here? Here, hold on. Let me log into the chat here so I can see you guys as well. All right, welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show, guys. I want to appreciate you. Craig Miss, how are you? Good morning. Whittle, how you doing? Oh, Caucasian Debris says, my mom used to beat me with a wire coat hanger. It's okay, though. She switched to a belt after I was born. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That is nuts. Oh, Cray Miss is going to buy the whole suit. All right. Okay. Hey, listen, it's okay. Just thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I love looking at YouTube and seeing my brother Dennis live. Love you too, brother. And I've been watching your fishing videos as well. It sucks because I wanna be fishing as well. I wanna be there fishing with you. Let's see, Lisa, how are you? Good morning. How many likes do we got? 5 likes? What's going on here? What's going on with the likes, peeps? I'm not too concerned about it, but I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the likes. Good morning, Lisa. Aztec. I keep thinking good morning. You have no idea. I rarely get any sleep, and it's very tough for me. And then I got to do everything that I have to do as well. But good afternoon to everybody. Everybody should be on afternoon time, unless you are in Hawaii or somewhere in American Samoa. All right. Let's see. Hey, word correct makes me look like a moron. Even worse, makes me look like a Democrat. That's horrible. And speaking of Democrats, I have a. I think it was pretty clever. Let me share this photo with you guys. This is the mentality of the Democrats today. You see that? Somebody posted this on YouTube, and I thought it was interesting because this is how I believe they look at things, and it's just like they have no common sense. Can you guys read that there? So you guys know I've been talking about all kinds of stuff in here, but this one is like transgender. To each his own. If you're an adult and you wanna do what you gotta do, man, just do what you gotta do. But don't put that on the kids. Don't force us to be crazy like you. Okay? I'll give you your crazy. I don't expect you to be crazy like me. You be crazy like you in your own time. Okay? But it's 11:42. Oh, okay. I'm an hour ahead, so it is still morning for some of us. I was wondering how the hell that 1 hour just flew by. Hi, Vilma. Good morning. How are you? I hope you're doing good today. But we're talking about transgenders, right? And the leftist just says, oh, it's okay for men to be women, and I'm like, okay, well, what is a woman? And they don't know. It's just some construct, some figment of our imagination. And you know what? My mother raised 5 of us, working manual labor. There was no washer and dryer. It was old school. You just rub the clothes on the rock, and jeans are heavy, and you have to squeeze the water, man. My mother cooked, she cleaned, she made us the food, and she went to sell food. I mean, she was everything, and that's a woman. That is a woman that is able to do that. And women give birth. Some women can't give birth, but they still have that motherly instinct. They still have the female reproductive parts, and they got a uterus. Whether it's in working condition or not, it is irrelevant. The fact is that the female body is made a certain way, and the male body is made a different way. Our bodies by nature, we are made to be laborers, to be stronger, to be able to, build things for our females. And to degrade women by saying that a man that dresses like a woman, like this lunatic here on the picture, right? What a disgrace. What a disgrace. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. And then you have a guy that can never finish his sentences. He couldn't find his way around the stage, which is just one way. He was out there doing stuff, and it's just so embarrassing, and it was more frustrating because I felt that that they were abusing him. They were just using him. They knew he had a mental problem, and they just used him. And I don't appreciate that. As bad as Biden has been throughout his whole career, he's shown to be racist, etc. I feel bad for him. I do. I don't know. Like part of me, wants to get mad at him for all the bad stuff he's done, but the other part is like, I don't know. He's still a human, and I just can't really hate the guy. But then we have another liar like Kamala Harris that to win the black vote, the black vote, she pretended to be African American. Now, I have my little mixed feelings on that because, I mean, Jamaicans, they are African descent. Yeah, I get that, but her mother is Indian. She didn't call herself Indian unless she was with Indians and etc. So I just have all this, the way that the leftists think, it just doesn't make sense to me, okay? It doesn't make sense to me. Look at this. You got George Floyd, a drug addict, a guy that held a pregnant woman at gunpoint to rob her, a guy that overdosed, died from the overdose, and they blamed the cop, the white cop. They also said it was a racist abuse from the police. And there is other black cops, and there's an Asian cop, and even the Asian cop was called a Nazi. Fantastic. And then we have Bill Gates. Bill Gates, software, Windows, and they call him a scientist. They call the drug abuse, the drug addict, the crackhead over here, a hero. They call the Microsoft creator a scientist. They think AOC, as dumb as she is, now there's some things that she does say right, but they call her a genius. Maybe that's why she's a little retarded. And then they call this burning, destroying our cities, our local businesses, mostly peaceful. They call Greta, this crazed child from England who disrespects her parents. Nobody can control her. Nobody has been able to discipline her. And they call her an expert on everything. And then you got a white lady who lied about being Native American, and she's whiter than Trump. And then you got the first lady, a black woman who was voted in by white people. She says she's oppressed. That is the mentality of the Democrats today in a nutshell. I have not found anything anywhere that has been this accurate as this picture right here. Unbelievable. Hey, brother. Thank you for the chat. Prices are high, brother. LNR, love and respects. Yes, this war is taking a little toll on us, and you know what? I said it was going to be $80 for the barrel of oil. I was wrong. And it looks like, let me take a look. I keep track. I hope I'm not getting sick. My throat's been messing up. Probably from yelling at Serenity too much. All right, let me see. The crude oil right now stands at 87.76. So it's still under 100. I know Brent's oil is 92.45. Oh, that's some good coffee. Thank you, Reels, for the coffee. Thank you for giving me the coffee this morning. Let's take a look. What else we got? All right, so that picture right there that you're seeing, that is the Democrats in a nutshell. I don't understand why people think this way, but this is why I think it's a mental problem. I really do think it's a mental problem. There is no way that a person in their right mind would really categorize these people in such a way. And that's the way that they defend them. And, I always tell people, right? Just, I get it. If you hate Trump, that's fine. But don't come and start a fight with me because I support Trump. You see what I'm saying? If you have an issue here, like today, we're going to talk about economical hardships. I want to know how you would fix the economy. Now, I want you to, if where's my phone? Did I have my phone? I'll grab my phone. But I want you to listen. I want you to tell me how you would fix the economy. I don't care how you feel about Trump. I don't care about Epstein files. Just stay on subject and just tell me how you can help fix the economy. Now, I'm going to go first. I think tariffs is bringing money into our country. I don't think that some of the businesses that were making money by buying cheap products from China, which I have nothing against buying stuff from China. I have stuff from China too. Okay? The price is right, I'll pay it. That's fine. But if I can find that here, made in America, then I'll buy it here. If I can find it, if I can afford it, I just won't buy it. It's very simple. But I believe that we can lower prices on everything, first of all, by lowering taxes. We need tax cuts. We need to lower taxes. The people are paying way too much taxes. And the major reason, one of the major reasons why they have to collect so much taxes is a lack of budgeting skills. They don't know how to keep a budget. And that is a big problem. And that's where accountability comes in. Now, President Trump is the federal government. He is the commander-in-chief of the whole United States of America. All right? Governors are the commander-in-chiefs of their state. With that being said, the responsibility doesn't fall solely on one person. For example, the things that are going on against Pam Bundy. There's some things that I don't like about Pam Bundy. I think she's made some mistakes. The way that she's talked about, some things, she should clarify. They're not perfect. And I'm not going to say that, they're the best. Maybe, I don't know. But I give them the benefit of doubt. Nonetheless, I see that they're doing something for our country. Therefore, I support it. It's very simple. It's really that simple. The other thing that we have is we have the FBI. Kash Patel. I think Kash Patel has made his mistakes. He's jumped the gun on giving information out there so fast. At the same time, I don't blame them because the people just keep rushing that information. Like, we're trying to save our country's economy. We're trying to make sure that our allies across the globe are working with us. And all the leftist people and a lot of rhinos out there, they want to worry about this Epstein files. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm sick of hearing about the Epstein files. And it's not because they want justice. That is BS. They don't want justice. They just can't wait to see Trump being in there, guilty. And I'll say this, man, and I'll say this. How does that benefit our country? Like I said, he's bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars. That's how it works. That's how the economy works. He's bringing hundreds of billions of dollars. He's even asked, he's even wants to go around the idea that maybe we, the people, don't need to pay federal taxes. Imagine that. So you have the example of the people here that are the exact description of what these libtards are in the Democratic Party. That's how they judge the world, and that's why we're crumbling. They don't like Trump. I get it. But you know what? Trump is doing the right thing. I think he's doing phenomenal. Is the gas prices up? Yes. You guys already know. Insurance companies don't want to insure the what do you call those, the tankers, the oil tankers. So the price is going to be a lot higher because the product is not even moved around over there. I get that. There is, if you know about the companies that depend on that oil, well, they're not going to try to risk too much if they're going to be blown up in the ocean. So there's that, but that will be taken care of all on its own. And I do believe that the price of the barrel of oil is going to be a lot cheaper than it actually was before this war. Now, I'm probably being a little bit too optimistic, but that's what I believe, okay? So with that being said, the federal government, it's trying to make sure that only American citizens are getting the benefits that are needed. For example, they want to make sure only American citizens, well, and residents, right? And residents can get their food stamps, health care, okay? Now, you guys don't see anything wrong with giving, all that stuff to illegal immigrants, to foreigners. Ay, ay, ay. If you don't have a problem with that, then you shouldn't have a problem with us giving money to our allies. Okay, that's one thing. But I do believe that our economy is getting better. I saw so many red states out there that the gas even went under $2. How does that happen? How did I see the price in many red states go down under $2, and yet the gas here in Washington was at $5 a gallon? How do I see that? Even as we speak right now, some people are still not even paying $4. We already have $4.79. We're almost back to $5. And peep this. The high prices at $5.69 was when Biden let the barrel of oil. Well, I can't blame him either for that. He has no control over that. But he does have some sort of influence, right? Kind of like Trump right now. So he got the barrel of oil at 130, and I think we hit 120s back down in the 80s. And that's just how it works. It fluctuates. It goes up and down. But the point that I make is my local taxes that we have here in our state, that is what's forcing prices to go higher. Now, I believe there is too much demand for housing. Illegal immigrants that come to this country, they don't just come here and sleep out in the moon, under the stars. They need housing. And then you have more homeless people. They can't afford housing. We have a drug problem. So this is affecting the economy. We cannot blame everything of the economy on the president. Funny how the president is responsible for everything. And all the leftists want to do is take all the benefits. They waste the money and they wonder why daddy doesn't have money. They're spoiled brats. Free, free, free. Everything free. The government, everything to me is free, free, free. What the hell kind of world do you live in that you think that the government is supposed to give you everything for free? It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Let me grab the phone. All right. All right, let me grab the phone, make sure it's available for you guys. I really want to have a conversation. Now, I don't want to hear about how much you hate Trump. I don't want to hear allegations about Trump at all. I want you to give me your idea. This is not a debate. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I am not here to fight this and that. That's not what I'm here for. I'm giving you the facts of what I see. If you want to be part of the solution, welcome. But if you are the problem and you don't want to be part of the solution, it is what it is. It's your choice. All right, let me go ahead and say good morning. Okay, Real, I got you, bro. Let's see. Mick says it sounds like you're making excuses for the bad behavior you want to engage in. Okay, sure, whatever. Let's see. Rochelle, why is no one here? I haven't heard anything of value yet or topic of discussion. Sorry, no patience for reading nothing. Have a good day, folks. Rochelle, what a waste of human space. Love Trump. Hey, guys, if you're still here, good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Annie thinks, I think about that all the time. Why are we so divided on things? It's not just interpretation. It's exactly what it is or isn't. If you are a U.S. citizen or not. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and find that clip here. I do have some updates for you, and we will have some discussions. But let me go ahead and find this. It's actually a hearing, and I really like what I heard. And this is exactly how I feel. So if you guys want to see something besides me talking about it, I'll try to find it. Man, I watch so many things, so many news, podcasts, things making fun of Trump in jail. I just don't care about that. I care about what we are talking about. All right, here we go. Here is the Senate hearing. Let me close that so that libtards don't get too offended. They're too soft. Let me see. All right, we're going to start right here.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. It's the tradition of this committee to swear in the witnesses who testify before it, so please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give to this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. We'll recognize Mr. Cooper first.
Well, thank you very much, Chairman Schmidt, Ranking Member Welch, and distinguished members of the committee. The scope of the Citizenship Clause depends on the original meaning of the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof, as the chairman has mentioned. And because the term jurisdiction is ambiguous, one must look to the history of its use in the clause to help determine its original meaning. And further, because the central purpose of the Citizenship Clause was to constitutionalize the citizenship provision of the Civil Rights Act of 1866, the search must begin with the text and history of that act. The Civil Rights Act granted citizenship at birth to persons, quote, born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power, close quote. The act on its face thus excludes from birthright citizenship American-born children of temporary foreign visitors and illegal aliens, because the child's foreign parents, and thus the child, are by definition subject to a foreign power. Any possible doubt about this is removed by the Act's congressional history. The citizenship provision of the Act was introduced by Senator Lyman Trumbull, who explained that it would make citizens of everybody born in the United States who owe allegiance to the United States, and it would exclude from citizenship the children of, quote, persons temporarily resident in the United States whom we would have no right to make citizens, end quote. The Senate debate focused mainly on the citizenship of American Indians, and there was general agreement among the senators that Indians who belong to the Indian tribes should be excluded from birthright citizenship under the Act because they owed allegiance to the tribe, a quasi-foreign nation, they said. And the Indians, therefore, were not regarded as part of our people, as part of our population, end quote. Trumbull made clear that the Act's disqualification from the birthright citizenship applies not only to tribal Indians, but to everyone. As he explained, if a black man or a white man belonged to a foreign government, he would not be a citizen. Senator Reverdy Johnson likewise added, all black persons born in the United States who are not subject to any foreign power would become citizens by virtue of birth. What was not said in the debate is equally revealing. No one argued that foreign citizens temporarily visiting the United States are regarded as part of our people rather than part of the people of a foreign power. No one suggested that a child born to such foreigners while visiting here should be entitled to citizenship at birth. And no one even mentioned the English common law doctrine of jus soli. Just 2 months after passage of the Civil Rights Act, the 14th Amendment was taken up by the same 39th Congress, and Senator Jacob Howard moved to add the citizenship clause. The language he proposed differed from that of the Civil Rights Act. The phrase, not subject to any foreign power, was replaced by the phrase, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. But the change in language was clearly not intended to abruptly change the meaning and thereby to invalidate the Civil Rights Act's express disqualification of children of foreigners owing allegiance to a foreign power. As Senators Howard and Trumbull emphasized, the new language is simply declaratory of the law of the land already, the Civil Rights Act, and the object to be arrived at is the same. Instead, the language was changed to address concerns once again relating to the American Indians. As Trumbull stated emphatically, the new language means subject to the complete jurisdiction of the United States. What do we mean by subject to the jurisdiction of the United States? Trumbull asked. Not owing allegiance to anybody else. And it cannot be said of any Indian who owes allegiance to some tribal government that he is subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. So the dissenting opinion in Wong Kim Ark was right. As the dissenting justices said, the Civil Rights Act was passed and the 14th Amendment proposed by the same Congress. And it is not open to reasonable doubt that the words subject to the jurisdiction thereof in the 14th Amendment were used as synonymous with the words and not subject to any foreign power of the Civil Rights Act. The bottom line, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, is this. American-born children of foreign visitors and illegal aliens are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are therefore not entitled to birthright citizenship. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Frost.
I think it's very clear. Hey, Janice, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Malcolm. God bless the USA and Israel. Amen to that. What do you think about that? Does anybody want to call in? I'm going to go ahead and give you the phone number. And I want you to tell me what do you feel, what do you think about what he just said. I believe exactly what he said. Let me see. Let's have a conversation. There's the phone number that you can call. No block numbers, please. Because if you are a jerk, I will block you. And that way we don't have to be miserable on the phone. Okay? So if you have heard everything that he said about birthright citizenship, it makes total sense. And as I mentioned to people before, you want to talk to me about immigration, you know, I am a migrant. I am a migrant that came to this country. I know what it takes. I know what other people like to do to cheat the system and all this other stuff. And I know the oath that you have to make. I know how and why I was accepted as an American citizen. So I believe everything in the Constitution. It's very interesting how there's a lot of people on the left that really do believe. They really do believe that the Constitution belongs to the world. I don't know where it says Constitution of the world. It says Constitution of the United States of America. And we the people are all of those who have a voice in the sense of voting rights. When it talks about persons, it just means plural person, an American person. And so I maybe the wording, it's yeah, thank you, Lisa. It means a lot. It's the wording that they use on it to find that English is my second language, and the difference is that I was raised to be very patriotic, to be a citizen or a person that appreciates the land and loves what they do, and loves what the land's laws stand for. Let's take a look. Let's take a listen here. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. What you got for me today, brother?
I don't want the dim charge on here. I just want you to keep talking.
Yeah, thanks for the call. The phone works, guys. Let me put the ringer on because I didn't have the
The
ringer
number
on.
works, bro.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? What do you think about this this birthright citizenship?
Well, my opinion between me and you, not on live, right?
Yeah.
My opinion between me and you is, it was put into law, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's law, right?
Well, it's an interpretation of the Constitution.
Well, I mean, you can interpret the Bible any way you want to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
As a hater, or a sinner, or a God-fearing person, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can't fix that. We need to change the law.
Yeah, I agree. And
we got to change the law.
Yeah, big time.
That way, there's only one interpretation.
Yeah, I'm going to play back what he said so that everybody that's coming in can hear it.
No, that's fine, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you, bro. I just want you to know I love you, bro.
Thank you, superstar. I saw that.
I'll keep supporting you, bro.
I know, man. I appreciate it. And man, believe me, you know what? You know what?
I've lost supporting you.
Yes, sir.
And that's not a loss. America, God, that's not a loss.
Yeah.
We just keep fighting, bro.
Yeah. Amen, man. Hey, listen, I got a lot of things going on. I have a compromise. Even if I lose, I got to try, brother. But once I get done with these things, I want to get together with you. I really do. And I'm going to make a video for you. I'll record you so you can just chillax and have a good time. But you got to catch some good fish, and I want to see what kind of ways you can cook this fish. I'm going to tell you something. I know I'm changing the subject a little bit, but to see you out there on the boat, on the videos that you're putting on your channel, it makes me want to be there, and
when you have a break,
yeah. Yeah, no, I can't make any plans until after I get done with this
I get it.
with
I
this
get it. When you have a
politics.
break,
Yeah.
When you have a break, you have a condo to stay at, you and your family. I'm going to take you out on my 27-foot boat. We're going to go offshore. We're going to get everybody some Dramamine patches so they don't get sick.
I hope I don't get seasick.
Hey, you're going to love it, bro.
I know
We're
I
gonna
will.
walk on the beach. We're going to record the sunsets, the sunrises, all that, bro.
I know we will, and I will record it for you as well. I love recording. Okay, just so you know, I love taking photos. That was my profession. I was a photographer and videographer. It's
I
all
gotta
good.
tell you, like, if I post on YouTube and I don't put music on there, I might get 158 likes or 158. YouTube, the AI stuff is weird, bro.
Yeah, I know.
If I don't put music on there, you said that the other day. If I don't put music on there, I get 158 views.
Yeah.
If I put music on there, whether it's country, pop, hip hop,
Or rock,
soul, whatever it is, I get 1,500 overnight.
is that right?
YouTube is crazy, bro. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even care about it. I'm just trying to share stuff with people they've never seen before.
Yeah, keep at it,
I
man.
just had a YouTuber that came down from South Carolina this weekend. He stayed with me, him and his family, and they didn't stay with me. They stayed in their camper, and this just got like almost 1 million subscribers, bro. And he wants to hook. Yeah, he tried to calibrate with me. I said, I don't want that. It's not about that with me. I'm trying to help you grow. I'm a contractor.
Yeah.
I'm a contractor and a fisherman. I work my butt off. I lost a lot of years of my life, Social Security, 401ks, from stupidity as a child.
Well, I want to thank you for the call and thank you for the support and the love, my friend. I really appreciate you.
I always have your back, bro.
Thank you, man. We'll talk soon.
You need to vent. Just call.
You got it, brother.
You know my number, brother.
Yeah. Tell the wife I say hello.
Yes, sir.
Be blessed.
I appreciate you, Dennis. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
All right, brother.
This is one of my supporters. We have become brothers, American brothers, and that's what I really love about being an American. And I hope that somewhere in the future, that we can all treat each other like brothers, even if we fight, but we can still be family. BC, is this you? Thanks for calling. Who we're talking to? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, who's this? Can you hear me? Oh, we lost him. All right, you try to call again, okay? All right, Serenity, I'm going to give you one more chance. I want to hear how you feel about what he just said. Now I'm going to rewind it so that you can hear it. Just a couple of minutes. Let me run it to the end. Just to the end. Now this is a professional, I guess I can say, a real American, better than me. Let's call it that. And this is how he finishes.
Was replaced by the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof. But the change in language was clearly not intended to abruptly change the meaning and thereby to invalidate the Civil Rights Act's express disqualification of children of foreigners owing allegiance to a foreign power. As Senators Howard and Trumbull emphasized, the new language is simply declaratory of the law of the land already, the Civil Rights Act. And the object to be arrived at is the same. Instead, the language was changed to address concerns once again relating to the American Indians. As Trumbull stated emphatically, the new language means subject to the complete jurisdiction of the United States. What do we mean by subject to the jurisdiction of the United States? Trumbull asked. Not owing allegiance to anybody else. And it cannot be said of any Indian who owes allegiance to some tribal government that he is subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. So the dissenting opinion in Wong Kim Ark was right. As the dissenting justices said, the Civil Rights Act was passed and the 14th Amendment proposed by the same Congress. And it is not open to reasonable doubt that the words subject to the jurisdiction thereof in the 14th Amendment were used as synonymous with the words and not subject to any foreign power of the Civil Rights Act. The bottom line, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, is this. American-born children of foreign visitors and illegal aliens are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are therefore not entitled to birthright citizenship. Thank you.
There it is. That is exactly what I believe. All right, so with that being said, you heard what he said, and you want to go ahead and call me about this birthright citizenship, go ahead and call me, okay? All right, so now it's open. I know that's about a few seconds delay. Everybody's connection is different. Birthright citizenship. Go ahead and call. Give you guys a chance to be heard. Oh, here we go. Manuel Correa. Go ahead, call in, brother. I want to hear your opinion. I really do. I want to hear your opinion. Oh, yeah, there you go. Hey, thanks for calling. Who we're talking with?
It's Serenity.
All right, Serenity. Now be nice.
All right.
Here's the
I'll be
rules.
star.
Here's the
Wait,
rules.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
Here's the rules. When I'm talking, don't talk over me because they make me raise my voice.
All
Okay?
right.
Don't talk about Trump. Don't talk about Biden. I want you to just stick to the subject. Birthright citizenship. You heard what he says. What do you believe?
So first off, I just want to say that I regret the way that our call went last time. So I'm with you. If you want to build a better way of communicating with the two of us, I want to communicate, more politely, and I don't want to raise my voice, and I don't want to talk over you. So my intention is to be more polite than I was the past call we had. Okay.
I
Is that
like
fair?
it. I like it. Thank you.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Let's say an illegal alien is here.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say an illegal alien murders a family.
Okay.
Okay. So now we've got him for murder, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple of options as to what we can do, right?
Okay.
We can deport them to the country that they came from
Okay.
and let them take care of it.
Okay.
Or we can try them for murder here in our court.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like what we're doing to the former president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah.
We are trying him, even though he's not a citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
We're trying him in our court.
Right.
Right? So that means he is subject to our jurisdiction because we are trying him in an American court for crimes that he committed against Americans.
Correct.
So by the plain reading of the founders' words in the Constitution,
Mm-hmm.
an illegal alien who has a child in the United States, they are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States.
It doesn't say
Because-
that, but it says persons.
Yeah, okay, no, but I'm following out the hypothetical.
Yeah.
If there was an illegal alien
Yeah.
who came to this country and had a child here, that child would be subject to the jurisdiction of
Of?
the United States.
But he
Because
hasn't. But he doesn't have an oath or a loyalty to the United States government.
Neither do I.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I want you to distinguish between diplomacy, with what happens with presidents and these prisoners or whatever. This is more about national security on a different level, more diplomatic than anything else.
Sure.
But when you're talking about illegal immigrants coming in here, the flaw that I find on this belief is that we are telling our enemies, we're telling the world that all they got to do is be on our soil and their children will automatically be American citizens, which will cause a lot of sleeper cells. You know this. It will cause for our enemies to infiltrate by form of, oh, I'm just going to go visit, and then boom, you make all these, American citizens. You're creating a too much of a chance for a hostility against the United States of America. Now, as a migrant, I will tell you this: your parents were legal. Are you an anchor baby, or you are actually an American citizen?
No, my parents are first-generation American citizens.
Okay,
yeah.
fantastic.
Or excuse me, descended from many generations of American
Okay,
citizens. Yes.
all right. Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are American, right? My kids, they're all American,
Yes.
but for two reasons. One of them, I'm an American citizen now, so they are automatically American citizens because of my loyalty, my oath. I'm under the jurisdiction of the United States of America, and I'm the father, right? Of course, paternity test,
Right.
all that stuff. But the other reason is my kids were actually born here while I was not a visitor. I will grant you this. I always say, it is for American citizens, but there is also a second category, which we call resident aliens. The reason why we have residency of these aliens, think about this, and this is logical. This is just common sense to me. If you are a resident alien, why would you qualify to have your children be American citizens, to be born here? Well, because you're not here as a tourist. You are permanently living in the United States of America, And as a matter of fact, to keep that green card, right, that resident alien status, you cannot be out of the country more than a few months, right? I think there's exceptions if you ask for permission, but in this case, it is the government, right? The United States, it's under that jurisdiction because they're residents, right? They have applied to be a resident of this country. They don't get the right to vote, so they're not the people yet. But because they are permanent to live here, they are allowed to have their children to be American citizens. And I think that's the big difference. The difference is if you have to look at it from my side. And I understand you were not born somewhere else, so you might not understand why it's important to me that people know this. I had to make an oath because I wasn't born here, right? If I came to this country illegally, okay, who does my loyalty belong to in the first place? It would be obvious, right?
Well,
The country where I come from. Okay, that's
well, not. I don't think necessarily. It could be that is the case.
okay.
But
But
there are many illegals. You can at least
yeah, I know where
that
you're gonna
there
go.
are-
Yeah. They're actually
Well,
running away, right, from their government, but they're kind of, it's kind of like a runaway child. That's kind of how it becomes. So either you have parents, right, or you are an orphan. Until somebody adopts you, you're just an orphan. You don't have parents.
I don't know if I agree because.
Go ahead,
let
tell
me ask
me.
you a question. If somebody was going to harm your child, would you kill them?
I don't know
you
if I
had to
will
kill
kill them, but
somebody
but most likely it depends on how
If
they're
you
going to
had
harm them.
Kill someone to defend your child, would you?
It depends. What's the hypothetical? I don't like hypotheticals, but what is the hypothetical?
If your child is completely innocent, and there is someone who is trying to harm your child, would you harm the person trying to harm your
Yes,
child?
I will defend them. Yes.
What would you do? What are the lengths that you would go to defend your child from harm?
Well, if it's harm that will cause death, yeah, I'll take them out first. It's self-defense. Same theory.
Right. Okay. So if you were living in a country like Venezuela
Uh-huh.
with a crazy maniac lunatic running your country like Maduro,
Yeah.
who will kill you if you vote against him,
Yeah.
or kill you if you speak out against him,
Hmm.
would you not try to get your children to a safer place as quickly as possible?
Of course.
Okay, so then let's say you do that and you get to the United States.
Wait. You
And
know
they
you know
tell
where
you-
Venezuela is?
Yeah, I know
Oh.
where Venezuela is.
Okay, so why the United States?
Well, because the United States is the land of opportunity.
No,
I think
no,
most people
no.
would want to come here.
I understand everybody wants to come here, but I have to respect the laws if I want to have asylum. The only people that have an excuse, to, honestly, to come here to the United States is Canadians and Mexicans, because we are their neighboring country. If I was Venezuelan and I really, really feared, for my children's life and etc., which I will tell you, a lot of Venezuelans that have gone back will tell you that they wish they never came to the States because they're being with their family is more important. But the
Well,
way
I know
that
a lot
the
of
way that
Venezuelans who have
asylum,
come here.
I understand, me too. But the way that asylum works, it's you will seek asylum on the neighboring country. That's kind of how it goes. We have a lot of Venezuelans on the street in Honduras begging for money, and what's crazy? Not to change the subject too much, right? But the Venezuelans, and I don't even know if they're Venezuelans. Who knows? Maybe they're not. But you know what they do in Honduras? They walk around in the street, right? Even though in Honduras it's probably not as tough to, if you put a business, you do have to get permits and all that stuff, but they walk down the street with the Venezuelan flag wrapped around them, begging for money. I don't know what to say about that. Like,
What are you trying to tell me?
well, Honduras is before Guatemala. Guatemala is before Mexico. Mexico is before the United States of America. So these people at least have been trying to find asylum in the countries closer to Venezuela. I mean, they still pass Nicaragua. Who the hell wants to be in Nicaragua? They're communists as well. They don't even allow Bibles in their
Right,
country.
The options aren't very good.
Yeah,
for
well,
people
but
trying to escape
again, but this
Venezuela.
country does not have the obligation, nor does it have the capability to have all these people just come over here because this is the greatest country. Should we make the United States of America a shitty ass country so they don't come here?
Well, do you know that you know about the Statue of Liberty? I assume, correct?
Yes,
What does the Statue of Liberty mean?
liberty for all.
And
I know where
on
you're
the
going with
Statue
this.
of Liberty, there's an inscription:
Yeah, what does the inscription say?
"Give us your poor, your
Yes.
huddled masses."
Yeah.
What do you think that means? We didn't say give us the best ones that you could possibly think of, the ones that are the
Oh.
most educated,
Okay.
the ones that have the best experience.
Okay.
The Statue of Liberty says, give us
Yeah.
your poor, your sick,
Yeah.
your huddled masses.
Okay.
Why do you think the founding fathers believed in that?
Well, what I want you to know is that was a gift from Paris, but is that a law?
Why did we accept it?
It's symbolical. Is it a law?
What is it symbolic of?
What you're citing is not a law. It's not a constitution.
No, I'm not
It's
saying
just
that,
a saying. It's just a message.
but
That's it.
I
I don't believe in it.
You're diverting from the point.
No, I'm trying.
Answer my
I don't know
question.
how I'm diverting it.
Well, because you're saying it's not a law. Well, I didn't
Yeah,
ask.
so it
if
doesn't
was a
matter
law.
what it says. Is what my point is.
Mm,
No, it doesn't
you
matter
think
what it
there-
says. What if it says no illegals are allowed in this country? Well, is that a law? No, it's just a saying on it. But if it is in
Right,
the
but we're talking
Constitution, if it's in
about-
the law, it's different.
okay, so can I have a chance to say a few things?
Of course, man.
All right, so
You won me today. I love that.
I appreciate that, and like I said before, I'd like to be able to do this again. So I'd like for us to be able to be respectful and
Yeah, no,
disagree.
I
and not-
appreciate that. That's
yeah.
what I want.
All right, cool.
You got my attention.
One thing that I think people on the right do, and specifically you, that I've seen you say,
Yeah.
is only the law really matters to you. So
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
if people do things that are wrong, it's
Yeah.
okay if it's wrong as long as it's legal, right?
Maybe.
But then,
Give
but
me an example.
then-
Give me an example. I like this.
so number one, the Supreme Court ruled, and I think we misunderstood each other last time. And I'm not trying to bring it to Trump. I'm just giving you an example. We're not going to talk about Trump, okay?
Okay.
The Supreme Court ruled the other day that not all tariffs, not tariffs in general, were unconstitutional.
Yeah.
But the IEEPA tariff, the kind of tariff that Trump was trying to do
Yeah.
by putting 150%, 250% on certain countries, that was illegal. It was unconstitutional.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
Your response to that when I said that was, I don't care what the Supreme Court thinks.
Yeah.
They're activist judges.
Yeah. I
So-
believe that they're activist judges, but
Right.
but I'll give you that. That's
So-
correct.
So just wait a second. So the point that I'm trying to make is, it seems like when something is a law that you don't like, you'll say, I don't care about that. I don't agree. But when we're talking about something that's good or moral,
Yeah.
you will back up to, well, it's not a law.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to say with the Statue of Liberty is, yes, it's not a law.
Yeah.
But it was obvious that the founding fathers accepted that gift from France because they
Sure.
agreed with the message.
Yeah, I agree with that as
Now,
well.
So again, I'll give you an example. If they gave us the Statue of Liberty and it said, kill everybody that disagrees with you, stifle people from being able to speak publicly about you, and take away everybody's guns, do you think the founding fathers would have accepted that gift?
Yeah, I don't think so. It will be unconstitutional.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, and I'll give you a chance to respond to this.
Yeah.
My question to you is, why do you want to go against what the founding fathers believed when they obviously believed that taking in poor people from
Yeah.
other countries
Mhm.
made our economy stronger because of the cheap labor? And also, it's a moral good. You know, you're a Christian, right? I've heard you talk about being a Christian.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Jesus would turn away poor people at the border?
Jesus is not what do you call it? It's not a government.
Sure. but I'm
Remember,
asking,
Jesus said to respect the law of the land. So Jesus is he made
unless
miracles
the law
and
conflicts with the Bible.
well, I mean, think about this. You know, he was confronted by the Jews because they say he violated the Sabbath, right? Because he made miracles, which is
Supper.
this is crazy. This is crazy. But he made miracles. right? He forgave sins, you know, and all this stuff and the Sabbath. And so they went off on him because of that. And it's just like, okay, that is a religious law. Okay, maybe you can say something about it, but what is it better, right? In this case, you're talking about moral stuff. You know, it's better to say, you know, your sins are forgiven and heal the sick, and that's fantastic. And I will tell you this. You know, I'm going to give you the other side of me when what I feel about immigration. So because you must have missed a lot of my lives. I want you to understand something. I believe everything that you're saying. That is true. And I want those people. I want to help those people. I want you to understand that we have a lot of, if you haven't heard me before, one of the things that I have said about on immigration, okay, it's that I want migrants to come here legally, okay? The biggest red flag that I have raised has been the mass illegal immigration that we just saw from, you know, a few years ago, right? And so my thing is, as a citizen that wants to protect his country, I have this thing that I've always said. You know, President Trump tried immigration reform. You know this, right? Did you know that he tried that? Like Obama. Obama did too. Obama promised this, right? While he was president. Well, no, when he was running for president, he ran on immigration reform. All of us Latinos were like, hell yeah, let's go. Because we want, you know, our Latino people to be here, of course. But criminal background check. You got to be vetted. All that stuff, right? And
Sure.
so we
I'm
put him in
against
office.
Illegal immigration. Just to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fair.
okay, good. So we put him in office, and then he went to Congress. And this is what the real salt was calling him before you. He went to Congress. Barack Obama made a speech and said blah blah blah, and I want these people. They said no. They didn't want to change the law to give these people, this is in the power of the executive branch of the federal government. They're the ones that give the green cards. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that give the citizenship. So this is on the executive branch, and they denied it. So Barack Obama, he tried to do what he promised, but they couldn't agree in Congress. President Trump did the same thing, and this is one thing that you don't like me for. President Trump, he thinks like I do. The difference is he has billions. I don't. I'm broke. I'm not a billionaire. But
That is one difference. Also,
that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But he did say he needed money for the wall, right? Everybody hated the wall on the left. I was for it. I'm like, I thought we had a wall already, but I don't know what the hell happened. But the reason why they denied him, this is what he said: I want every DACA document holders to be residents and to be put into a path to citizenship. And he was going to have over another million TPS temporary, permit holders.
Protected status,
right? Yeah. And they said no because they didn't want to fund the wall. They didn't want to fund what he wanted to do for national security. They didn't want to fund what immigration is doing right now, immigration enforcement.
Because it was supposed to be funded by Mexico, right?
They're kind of paying for it, but I think that he overstretched on that one. I'm not gonna get. I would have never said that out in the open because that would have just created so much pushback. I'll give you that one. You're right on that one, 100%.
And I think also, there's always a conversation in this country around how much money we're going to spend on things.
Yeah,
right?
Correct.
And the wall, not the kind of wall we have now, which I'm sure you've seen because you're interested in immigration. Like you can put your hand through it. You can put your backpack through it, right?
You got to be able to see who's coming across. Yeah.
He was talking about a brick wall. He wanted like a full cement wall.
That's not what I understood, but that's you'll be right to question that one.
So and that would be really expensive. So if I were in government, I would say, I don't want to spend money on this, especially since you marketed it to the American people as being paid for by another country.
Yeah.
I'm
with you on that one, man. I'm not going to defend that one too much.
Okay, cool. So we agree on that at least somewhat. I understand. So let's get back real quick to birthright citizenship, okay?
Go ahead. Bring it back.
I think there is something that the founding fathers believed in.
Yeah.
And one of the, keep in mind, obviously, for historical relevancy, we fought a war for our independence,
Yep,
right?
that's right.
Against the British government.
Yep.
And the reason why we did that is because we felt like we weren't being represented, right?
Yep.
And all of the people who started the United States are
Settlers.
from where?
Settlers.
They're from the United Kingdom,
Yeah.
right?
Most settlers are. Yeah.
So all those people are from the United Kingdom,
The white people.
and they move over to the 13 colonies that they created
Yeah.
in North America, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
all the way across the world.
Correct.
So one of their concerns about citizenship was, if people come over from the United Kingdom and they want to be a part of the United States of America, this new country that they built, one of the things that was important to them was making sure that the descendants of the people who started this country
Yeah.
could come over to the original 13 colonies and guarantee citizenship of those colonies to their offspring.
Yeah.
So the reason why they made birthright citizenship is because they believed that America owns the soul of the person who is born there. And if you are born on American soil, you are an American.
Okay.
That's where you're born.
Okay.
So if we were to get rid of birthright citizenship, what we
Not
would end up
not the
doing
birthright,
is,
not the birthright citizen, just the birthright that has been erroneously given to illegal immigrants or temporary visitors.
well, it doesn't say. So that's where we're going to have our disagreement, because I explained earlier my point about
No, remember
how,
remember jurisdiction. Who
Yes,
who
that's-
okay, so
that was
if
the
if
point.
I have a minor, okay, my kids, they're minors, right?
Yeah,
Whose jurisdiction are they under?
yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the argument.
Well, no. So going back to my original point,
Go ahead.
how can we try Maduro in a U.S. court if we don't have jurisdiction over him?
That's more of a diplomatic issue.
It's not. We're trying him in a United States court.
Yeah,
Trying
but
him through
it's
our
a
criminal justice system.
yes, and that is the due process for criminals.
Right.
So
He gets due
illegals,
process. Why
so
does
they
he-
don't
wait, hold
have.
on.
See, so given jurisdiction doesn't mean that you have a right. If you commit a crime, we have due process. That's okay. We can give due process, but to give
what is
the
due process?
due process is you get to plead your case in court, have representation, and that's it. Show your
But
case.
why do you get that?
Because we want to make sure that we are fair with everybody, including our visitors. But what you're misunderstanding is that the gift, the privilege of being citizen does not belong to illegal immigrants.
Sure. No, I'm not missing that. I totally
Yeah,
understand.
so in this case, it's if an illegal immigrant is here, they don't get the right to vote. They don't get to become citizens unless we allow them to be citizens. But like you
Right.
said before, right? They commit a crime, they're going to go to court first.
We have
They got a due
right,
process.
but that because we can enforce our laws against illegal immigrants, that means we have jurisdiction over them.
Well, remember, we're just defending ourselves. That's what we're doing when we give due process.
Sure, I totally agree.
Yeah,
all
but what
I'm
is the
saying
result
is-
afterwards? What happens after that due process is made and either they're found guilty or not, they're still illegal.
can-
What happens?
We can either deport them,
Yep.
or we can house them in our own prison system.
Yeah,
which
we'll
happens all the
just
time.
we'll just deport them. We'll save money.
Well, I'm just saying, both of those. Can we agree both of those things happen?
So what would you suggest?
Sometimes-
Let's say I agree with you, right? And the illegal immigrants are under our jurisdiction. What do you think we should do to them?
Well, if we catch, so when Trump ran on fixing the immigration problem, which I'll agree with you, there were too many people going through the border during Biden. I'll totally agree with
That's
that.
the biggest problem, bro. That's
don't
it.
ag- I
I
don't
didn't have that
agree.
issue before that.
Sure, yeah. I don't think I agree with how large the number is that you say.
Yeah.
You say 21 million, and I don't think there's any proof of that.
500,000
difficult
just
to-
from Honduras.
We
Over.
don't know if that's the case. I'm
Over
just-
500. This is the report from Honduras. Honduras is a very
how do
tiny
you-
country.
Right, but how do you know
The president
if
of
they're
Honduras,
illegals?
yeah, the president of Honduras made a statement that it was over 540 something thousand Hondurans that came to this country illegally, and
Right,
that
but if you
we depend on the remittances from those illegals. And so she was telling the United States of America's president, Trump, that that we needed to remove all American military presence in Honduras because we were deporting those illegal immigrants back to Honduras.
Sure, I understand. So let me just ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you're not catching the illegal immigrants and they are going across the border illegally, how do you know how many there are?
I think that the growth in the population, there's got to be some sort of system that they track. So the amounts, the multitudes of people that were here daily, they were counted by the hundreds of thousands, and you can see, the proof of that. And I'm gonna show you a picture that is not gonna really be, that accurate per se, but I want you to just take an idea from it, and let me see if I can find it really quick.
Yeah, well, I guess
I'm sure
while
you've
you
seen
look for
them.
that-
Here's one little
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, so
There you go.
I get that. I understand. I guess the main point that I was trying to make is that I disagree with how large the number is because I don't think we can really know for sure. But I
Okay.
agree with you that there was a problem with people coming across the border. I'll also agree with you that as soon as Trump came in, that problem stopped. Okay?
Yeah, securing the border. So,
So-
the coming in was controlled. Now, this is
Yeah.
just one day. There was years of this multitude coming through. Did you know that
Sure.
Mexico made billions of dollars while all this was happening through Mexico? How do you think they made billions of dollars in their economy while this was happening?
Yeah, I honestly don't know the numbers and how to keep accuracy on those
Yeah.
claims. I have heard those claims, but the point that I was going to make is you asked me a question, once we catch the illegals, what are we supposed to do with them?
Yeah.
Right? So here is my answer, and we can see where we disagree, okay?
Yeah.
In my opinion, Trump is not doing what he said he was going to do with the illegal immigration problem. So what he campaigned on was he was campaigning on catching, and I'm going to use his phrase, the bad hombres, right? There are a lot of bad hombres out there, and we want to catch the criminals. We want to catch the thieves. We want to catch the murderers, the rapists. We want to catch all those bad people and get them out because the problem with illegal immigration, one of the big ones is people are saying people are getting murdered. People are getting hurt by illegal immigrants, violent criminals. Okay, great. So
Sure.
I think everyone would agree, and I don't know if you would agree with this, but every person on the left that I've talked to agrees with deporting illegal criminals, people who have committed violent crimes against people in the United States. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all agree getting the violent criminals out of our country is the top priority, okay?
Correct. I hope so. I'm hoping that
agree.
the leftist says
all
that
agree.
nobody's illegal in stolen land. That's your people, bro.
I just want to say there are people who also say that you shouldn't be an American citizen on the Republican side because you're not white and you don't have generational interest in this
Wait,
country.
who the hell
I
said
would agree
that?
with that.
Who the hell said that?
Ann-
Let me know.
Ann
Do they have a
Coulter.
channel? I would like to go and visit these motherfuckers.
Ann Coulter, you know who she is? Okay, well,
Ann
she's a
Coulter.
huge
Wait, it sounds
prominent-
familiar though. Wait.
She's a huge prominent figure on the right, and she told Vivek Ramaswamy
Uh-huh.
she would never want him to be president of the United States because his parents are Indian.
Okay, I would be against.
So-
I will be against that.
All
But
right, so the point that I'm trying to make with that quote is there are a lot of things that people say on the right that you would not agree with.
yeah,
And there are a
yeah,
lot
it's
of
true.
people that say things on the left that I wouldn't agree with. So
Yeah.
I see a lot of on your show, you say stuff like the left believes that you can be if you're a boy, you can be a girl.
Right.
I don't believe that.
Well, every left that I know believes that.
But do you see how it's not everybody? Because
Well,
you're talking to one right now. that
So
doesn't?
so here's the thing. Like, remember what somebody told me this, and they said, "Oh, you agree President Trump lies." I mentioned this before, and it's all to the interpretation of people, right? And I know you're listening. people listen to me nationwide. I get that. But my experience, as you know, is Washington State. Okay. And I know that every Democrat state has the support of the LGBTQ. And you have to, we're going to switch gears just a little bit, but we'll come back to the citizenship. You have to understand that things have what they call a domino effect. You remember in the early 80s and the mid 80s, gays were picked on and all these things was horrible and people were bullying them. In the early 90s, and I agree with this, nobody should be bullying anybody. They want to be gay, let them be gay. So the movement started with just first accept gays, and then we accept lesbians. And then I said, okay, well, hey, that's it. That's two genders, men like men and women like women. Okay, but that's it. I said, if you continue to keep adding to this, we're going to have a problem. So then they wanted to have marriage, and then they added bisexuality. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, these are sex preferences. I get it. Okay, we'll leave it at the LBG, right? And because it's something immoral, according to the Bible, right? It's a sexual perversion. It's a sexual immorality. Again, I agree with no bullies on either side. I don't believe victims will ever be bullies or bullies should be victims. I think we all should be the same and respect each other. Now,
and also, judgment only comes from one place.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not
That's
our
right.
goal to judge other people.
That is correct. And we should be able to love each other, but we're not supposed to love our sin, okay? With that being said, because the people, the LGB, because they know that their moral senses to do what they want to do with their life, which, to each his own, because they have that guilt, right, that they're not just, heterosexual or whatever, they have to accept the next one, which is, transgenders. I don't even know what the hell the other letters are for. I don't know what queer and
it's not really even something that I'm concerned with.
Yeah, but I'm saying is the domino effect goes that it just keeps getting worse and worse because we already broke that moral boundary. There is no more moral boundary. And so when it comes to illegal immigration, I will tell you this, and you point this out, which is very, when do we get the Statue of the Liberty? I think that in those times we needed a lot of migrants for their labor.
Right.
And the thing is that now the leftists, maybe they really are just ignorant about how they're going about it, but they're using illegal immigrants as the new form of slavery. And I don't appreciate that in the first place. But, we are to a level of now we have cities with a certain amount of people. We have overcome the settling part, right? A lot of migrants have helped build this country. Absolutely. And a lot of them have actually become settlers themselves, and et cetera. And I believe in all that. But we get to the point where if our population grows too fast, you know what's happening in China. If our population grows too fast, we have a problem. I think, what is it, 2.5, maybe 3-to-1 birth ratio is what we want. At least here in Washington, I think it's like 2.5 or something like that birth ratio in order for Seattle to sustain itself. And, it's when you have illegal immigration, it's a bad thing. Migrating is fantastic, but illegal migrating, it's not good, and especially when you have mass illegal migration. So I tell you this because the times when the statue and all this other stuff and when the founding fathers and the settlers, we were still building somebody's calling while I'm on the phone. I don't get it. But we were still building this country. Now we're done. We're done building, and we have entered a different age in our countryhood. I don't know if that's a word. In our nation, where in our nation to where. Just so you know, you've heard me say this before, right? I think 100% in Spanish. Everything I tell you is okay. I appreciate it. That's why I speak backwards sometimes.
My language was in Spanish, so I understand.
Okay, you're Hispanic? You're Hispanic descent?
No, my
stepmother.
My parents, my mother, her parents worked for the State Department, and they were stationed in Spain for a time.
Oh, okay. So they spoke Spanish, but okay, I got you.
Yes.
Okay, all right. You're not in the circle then. Okay.
No.
I'm just
If you
kidding. Hey,
saw-
you're
if
still
you saw what I
American. You're
looked
still in
like-
the circle.
If you saw what I looked like, you would not think we were in the same place now.
And that's okay, man. That's
So-
okay. So, all right.
Let me
Hold on.
make
Let me
a-
just
make-
finish up the thought so that you can see where
Okay.
I'm going. Okay. So now we have a different age in our life, and now I said this the wrong way, and I still don't know how to say it, but I believe because of the way that things have changed in our world today, I think I said change the amendment wording. I don't know if it's just make a new amendment or how to do it, but
of the Constitution.
yeah, of the Constitution, when it says persons, it should say American citizens, and Congress can do that. You know, the president will sign on it, that they can do that, and then we don't have a problem. But if they wanted to change the law, they should really now specify, like literally specify, because it's causing so much confusion among people.
Sure.
That persons, I'm thinking the Constitution is for who? We the people, right? For Americans. So whenever it mentions a person, we're talking about ourselves, American people that can vote. Those are those are the people that work. You have to remember this and pay attention, okay? Because I don't want to say it again. I'll probably forget it. Remember the American Constitution, right? The United States of America. They remember the whole slavery thing, right? 1/5 humans, I think it was. Somebody put it on the chat one day. They believed that the blacks, the slaves, were not humans, and therefore they have no right. And this is where Trump and the administration is fighting for. But I'm going beyond what they're doing, and so we wanted all the persons, right? That like you said, they fall under our jurisdiction. They're permanent here. They have been brought here. They're under our government rules or whatever. But they were brought here. They were put in place in here, and so the Constitution makes a change so that they can be American citizens. And then as you were here, right, when I played the hearing part?
Yes.
Where he talked about the Native Americans as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so, it was kind of the same with them. And then now we know Native Americans, well, they're the Americans, you know what I mean? They're born in this land all the time.
Yeah,
So this is their land as well. So we have to change some things on there. And only because, two things. We know massive illegal migration is bad. But the second and most important thing is, bro, through our history, look how many enemies the United States has. And with that being said, this is why I have a big fight with not just the leftists, but any American that defends foreigners and puts Americans last. Because I know that there is people out on the streets today are still saying death to America. And the gullible Americans out there and other people, they have their freedom of speech. That bugs me. All right, with that being said, go ahead and go to your point.
Okay, so I want to respond to a couple of things that you said, and it may take me a few minutes. So if you could just give me an opportunity to just
Go
get
ahead.
the whole
No,
thing
I'll
out, and
interrupt
let
it.
you respond. Okay, so just as a person who has studied the Constitution, I don't think you're correct about the definition of the word person, and I'll give you a couple of examples.
Persons, the plural part.
In persons,
Yeah.
yes, persons. In the United States Constitution, the word persons generally means any person,
People.
not American citizens.
It is a plural word for the people.
Right, but the reason why citizens is also in the Constitution is because it makes a distinction between person and citizen. So anyone under U.S. jurisdiction, regardless of citizenship, is a person.
Yeah.
So the reason why Maduro has due process right now is because he is a person in the United States under our jurisdiction. So an example where person means anyone in the Constitution is the Fifth Amendment. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That includes an illegal immigrant. You can't just, pull an illegal immigrant over
How do you
on the side of
know?
the road and take
How do you
ownership.
know? Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off. How do you know
Okay.
it includes illegal immigrants?
Because there is when you read the Bible, right, there are many different words.
No, stay
in
with the
Bible.
Constitution. Stay with the
Okay,
Constitution.
sure. That's fine.
Please.
The reason why I know that that person means not in addition to citizen is because citizen is also included in the Constitution.
Okay, okay,
If
sure.
person meant citizen,
Yeah.
we wouldn't need person.
Yeah.
So no person in the Fifth Amendment shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And that's why Maduro gets due process, because he is a person under the jurisdiction of the United States. Now,
Okay.
I understand you want to change that.
Well, that's a criminal. That's not a privilege. He's getting his ass kicked and handed by us. But as soon as he's found guilty and he serves his sentence, he has to go back to Venezuela. He doesn't get citizenship for being under our jurisdiction.
No, but
They're
we
punished
can also
because he's
have-
here, not legally, and it's a diplomacy thing.
Do you think Trump would want to hold him here in prison? Would he have a right to do that if he wanted to?
Remember, the Biden administration was holding my president for 45 years, is what they gave him.
Sure. So you can. The answer is yes.
Yeah, but that's not giving him a privilege. That's a punishment.
Sure. Oh, I'm not saying it's a privilege.
Yeah, but
I'm not
the only
saying that.
jurisdiction that they have over him is punishment. It's not like, okay, here we go, you got to pay taxes. No, it's a
Where
different.
does it say that in the Constitution?
It is a diplomacy. He's a president. He's a
Where does
government.
It say,
When he talks
where does
about
it say that in the
diplomacy,
Constitution, though?
when it talks about diplomacy,
Can you give me the line? Of
I
where it
don't
says
know
that?
exactly
Because-
where it is, but I know that diplomacy, sons of diplomats are not qualified to become American citizens. As the guy just said on the video, that's why I asked you if you watched it, because he said that diplomat children do not have the right to be a citizen, even if they're born in the States, because they belong to another government. Illegal immigrants are on the same category. They belong to another government, and thus far, those children are not to be American citizens. That's where the logic
think
in that
you're-
comes in.
I think you're missing the point, though, because if we can punish them,
Well, not me.
we
That's
have
what he said.
jurisdiction over them.
Yeah, but I'm
I
agreeing with
disagree.
what
I
he said.
disagree with his argument, but I'm just saying your argument. If you are using his argument, the thing that I'm trying to explain to you is, what does jurisdiction mean?
Well, that's what I'm telling
What
you.
is the
That's
definition of jurisdiction?
jurisdiction means that you have made an oath to the government that you're in.
No.
Yes.
That's
Before you go
not true.
before you go to another foreign country, what do you have to do before you go there and before you get a visa? Well, you're American. You don't need to
Well,
go and say
I
anything.
agree with what you're saying, that you have to take an oath to become a citizen.
Yeah.
But that's not what jurisdiction means. I'll read you the definition.
Okay, go
In
ahead.
constitutional law, jurisdiction means the legal authority or a power of a government
Yeah.
or court to make and enforce laws over people,
Mm-hmm.
places, or cases.
Yeah.
So when the Constitution refers to jurisdiction, it is talking about who has the authority to
Yeah.
govern or decide a matter over another.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do
So you
with,
think that's
taking an oath.
okay. So you think that's jurisdiction?
That is I just read you the definition.
Okay.
the
So
Webster's
that if
definition
that
of
is if
jurisdiction.
that is the definition, then how are we able I love this. How are we able to give somebody a green card or a citizenship or deport them, repatriate them back to their country? I'm going to tell you
fact that
why.
we have the-
I want to tell you why. Because
Okay.
we have the law to do it. If they
have
want
jurisdiction over
if they
them, yes.
want the law to be constitutional according to your interpretation, they have to change the law. But they cannot leave the law the same it is right now. They have to change it. That's why we say that. Now, the biggest thing that I see is this. Whether and you made examples about the Bible, but I'm not going to go there. Whether you come
Sure.
to this country, you have no rights, no American rights, you have no amnesty, your human rights don't mean shit over here, except that we're going to make sure that we don't beat you, we don't mistreat you, we don't torture you. We're just going to
Those are
repatriate
human
you.
rights, right?
Yeah, those are human rights, correct. So we give you that, but legally you have no rights, right? No legal rights. And so,
No.
even though they are here and we do give them due process, it's due process for two reasons. One, for you to be in prison. If you are innocent, right, what you gain is a one-way ticket back to the country you came from. That's it.
Yeah,
So if you
no, I
give
don't
due
agree.
process to kids or children of illegal immigrants, okay, well, who's the parents?
So,
What is the
and
nationality? Who is the jurisdiction of this child? The parents. And who's the jurisdiction for the parents? Their country of birth.
no, yeah. So I mean this with like the most respect.
No, I understand what you're
Genuinely.
saying. I understand what you're
I,
saying.
I think you should read the words in the Constitution.
Well, I like to
Because,
listen to the expert. So I'm going to play the video again for everybody else that just come in and
well,
listen.
okay, well, right now,
Well, yeah, if you want to
play
hear it
right
again.
now. Well, I haven't really been able to like respond to everything that you've said.
Okay, but go ahead. Let me give you 2 more minutes, and then because you got 45 minutes, and everybody else is not getting a chance to call in if they want to.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So there are a list of rights that are given to, or not rights, but protections is what it's
Yeah,
called in
yeah,
the Constitution.
yeah. Protection. Yeah.
There are protections that
Yes.
are given to persons, and there are protections that are given to citizens. So when you said the only thing that you get when you come to this country is a one-way ticket back when you come here, that's not true. In the Constitution, you're guaranteed due process.
Yep.
You're guaranteed equal protection under the law in
Yep.
the 14th Amendment.
Yep.
You are given rights in a criminal proceeding from the 4th Amendment, 8th Amendment, 5th, and 6th.
Yep.
Or the right to a fair trial is the 6th Amendment.
Correct.
And you get some protected speech from the First Amendment,
Yes. Some. Correct.
which protects speech, religion, and assembly for persons. So these protections generally apply to undocumented immigrants.
Okay.
So
I'm okay with that.
Okay, but the point that I'm trying to make is, and then I'll let you play whatever you want. What you just said was not true. You just said when you come to this country, all you get from our government is the ability for us to enforce
The
punishment
law.
against you and
Yes.
give you a one-way ticket out of here. But that's not true. The
Well-
reason why we started the United States is to protect people from a tyrannical government.
Correct.
And it wasn't just the citizens of the United States. It was persons under the jurisdiction of the United States.
Right.
So giving people protections against government enforcement
Yeah.
is one of the things that the founding fathers designed the Constitution to do.
Yeah.
So when you say, when you get here as an illegal immigrant, the only thing we have to do to you is send you back, that's not true. And it says so right there in the Constitution.
Well, go ahead.
You can try to change the Constitution if that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah, we
if
need
you don't
to.
agree with what the Constitution says, you can try to change it. But
Well, you have to change the law. The law is what you have to change.
No. The Constitution. It says it's the amendments in the Constitution you have to change.
You have to re-amend it. Yeah. Okay. I agree with that.
So, there is an argument made by people on the left.
Yeah.
Who say when the founding fathers designed the Second Amendment, they didn't design it with machine guns in mind. But I imagine you are not interested in amending the Second Amendment to take away people's abilities to own machine guns, correct?
Well, I mean, you. This is what I'm talking about. Things change with eras. We're in a different era today. Muskets is what they had before. Handguns, okay, I get it. Well, they didn't say the right to bear arm with what we have today forever. No, the right to bear arm, whatever weapon it is that you are creating, that is what you have your Second Amendment right for. So AR-15s, AK-47s, that's a little bit too much, but you have the right to have that. I'm gonna show you a video as well. Okay, stick around. I'll show you a video of a guy, and I'll be honest. I really wish you would have called me after that, but this is your one call. But we'll talk about the guns.
Well,
but go ahead.
Let me give my final thoughts.
Yep.
My final thoughts on this is: it seems like what you want to do is you want to. Okay, let me start fresh. I just want to make sure that I get it right because it's my last chance, right?
That's right.
So the right talks often about how people from other countries are going to come here and they're going to change our way of life, right? People come here from other countries and they vote against American interests, right?
Yes. Okay.
So, and you're against that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so from my point of view, you are doing that thing right now because you have come over from another country.
Yeah.
With a different mindset than what we have as Americans.
Right.
And you are championing on your show amending the Constitution changing the words of the Constitution to
Yeah.
make it different
Yeah.
than what the founding fathers wanted to do.
Right.
In my opinion, you are doing the thing that you don't want immigrants to do, to come into this country and try to change the way that our country works and make it work differently than what the founding fathers intended. So if you're going to support amending the Constitution, I think you should at least acknowledge that you want it to be different. You want America to be different than what it is right now.
Right.
You came here to change it.
Yeah. That's a good thought. I like it.
Well,
do you have anything else?
Thanks. Nope. I mean, I'll call you as many times as you want to talk, but I appreciate you being more respectful this time.
Hey, you know, when you let me talk, when you let me talk, it's different. See, this interruption that we're doing right now, it's fine. But, you know, when somebody's in the middle of explaining like you're explaining, I can understand better. Here is my summary on this call.
Sure.
It's we have the Constitution, which I think is fantastic. I think that there's no greater document ever been written. Is it perfect? No. Does it need to be amended? Obviously, we have so many amendments on it. I don't even know how many amendments that we have. I've gone up as high as 24, I think. I'm sure we have more, but there's a tons, okay? But here is the thing. There was no federal immigration law with the Constitution back then. Not that I have noticed in here or heard. Now remember this, today, even though the Constitution says we the people, right, the American citizens is what I understand from that. When I read persons, right, no persons. Persons is the equal to people, and that's we the people. That means American citizens.
No.
The immigration laws that we have today, see, the immigration laws have been placed according to the need of our national security need, just like a speed limit, right? We have all these beautiful roads, and then we build a school, and then all of a sudden people are just flying by the school, okay? Now, the road is fantastic. The school is phenomenal. Everything is great. But now, because this is happening, we need a law. You cannot drive past 20 miles an hour if the school lights are flashing. We have laws that have been put in place for national security and for the interest of the United States of America. Remember this, and this is something that I learned from my mother. We don't come to this country just because we need to be part of the welfare system. We come here to give something to this country, and that's exactly why I talk like this in my show. And then the second thing is this. If the government, the federal government, which has been given authority by every single state, they have all signed off that the federal government has sole and complete control of immigration law and enforcement. If they can give you a green card, they can take it away. If they can give you a citizenship, they can take it away. And I believe there is a time period of 10 years. After you become a citizen and you've been here as a citizen, not just because you came here, as a citizen for 10 years, they can no longer take that away from you. I believe that's the rules. So I want you to keep that in your formula, or however you want to call it, that laws have been implemented for the national security of this country. And I'll just leave you with this. The biggest fear, I want a lot of migrants, right? Just like Trump and Obama have tried to make all these DACA document holders and TPS legal. They tried, but the Congress says no. I want all the people. Believe me, I know so many people, bro, that are such hard workers. I wish they can come here, but they can't. They don't pass the criminal background. They don't have enough funds. They can't sustain themselves in this country. They have nothing for as a foundation because they're not settlers. They're migrants. And the people that build this country really are settlers, not migrants. Migrants come here for a labor to make money. Like you said, they come here for an opportunity to take advantage of work and all these other benefits. But they're not coming here to build a better country. And my final thought with that is I really love everything you say because I see that as well. And believe me, I'm a double-minded person, and I'm probably the worst person that you're going to ask an opinion on a fresh idea because I am going to destroy it with negativity. until I can see that there is something positive, and then you will never change it back. And even if you
Right.
think that was a fault, you'll be like, "Oh, Dennis, what I told you, oh man, that was wrong." Nope, nope. I already believe it. You can't take it back. You cannot take
Sure.
it back. Serenity, you have redeemed
I
yourself.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you more. I you
Thank
you're
you. I
you're you
appreciate
are.
that.
I consider you my friend from here on.
Well,
All
thanks.
right.
It's a big jump from our previous conversation. So I
Huge.
hope that we can keep them as civil as this. I respect you. I hope you'll return that respect to me, and we'll talk again.
Here, disclaimer: the small print. You're a libtard. I love you, bro. I
that.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
And from now on,
Yeah.
if you hear me calling you that, just know, okay? We're just talking shit. That's all. But
Yeah,
if we,
for sure.
what I want is for us, and I know normally we say we'll have a beer together, but what I want is for us to be able to disagree. And the one thing that kind of bothers me, and I'm probably wrong about this, but the one thing that bothers me with people, and this is why we have to segregate ourselves, is that, Democrats, remember, I used to support Democrats. We believe in democracy. This is a Republican, nation, but I believe in democracy, right? The voice of the people. This is why we have rights to vote. But I believe that we have won fair and square, and I don't like that there is that other part of Americans who want to change our dictatorship, if you can call it that way, in a good way.
Sure.
They want to change our agenda, and they want to change the way we think. It's like, listen, we got 4 years of this. You can change it in 4 years. Like right now, I'll give you this. Right now here in Washington State, and this is just another subject, okay? But it is a little bit like sad in a way, or so very discouraging that we have so many people that were so lively in Washington State, and we're seeing a mass migration, which is not good. We're seeing a mass migration of people, businesses, rich people, and they're leaving us. And other a lot of people are leaving. That have money and they have businesses that they work hard, and they're leaving for other states that won't take advantage of them like they do here in Washington. So it's like I'm hearing a lot of there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. We're doomed, we're doomed, we're doomed. And I'm still in the mentality of, I want to run for governor. I want to make a difference. Let me get a shot at it. Let me give you transparency and be like, hey, Serenity, remember I told you about this? I want to be able to show you. And if I fail, I'm going to tell you why I fail. I'm going to say, listen, so just like I give Barack Obama credit and Trump, right, for the immigration reform, I will also be the same person, but I want you to know it, because a lot of people don't know that about Obama or Trump. They don't know that Congress, that piece of shit Congress that we have, they are not looking for the best interest of this country, and that pisses me off because it's on both sides of the aisle,
Sure.
And
I've got plenty. If you want, we can come on here and we can criticize people on the left all day long. I have plenty of criticism for people on the left.
well, I don't want to criticize them. I just want them to just like I said before on my show. It's if you don't want to help, just get out the way. Of course, my line is shut the hell up, but
Sure, but just to be fair, just to explain what it feels like to be on the other side, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
My goal is just like your goal. If we win the next election, let's say, your goal is going to be to try and weather us as much as possible, and that's why it doesn't take a simple majority in Congress to do most things that are very big and affect the country for a long time. It takes 2/3 majority.
Yeah.
So it takes either a huge amount of people in the American public to vote in people who agree on one thing, or it means we both have to agree.
Yeah.
And if we don't agree, like the filibuster, there is a thing that you can use while we are in power to stop us from getting legislation done, because the American founders do not want uniparty rule. They want checks and balances between parties. And what I'll say about you after we've had this conversation, I can see you are willing, and for the lib-cut comment, I got to take one jab at Trump and then I'm going to go. But I see that you are able to admit that when you're wrong. and you are able to say, you know, if I run for governor and I can't do it, I'm going to tell you why I failed, right?
Correct.
And one of the biggest things that I think makes it difficult for Trump to get things done
Yeah.
is that he cannot admit when he is wrong.
Sure. I see that.
In 2016, he claimed, even though he won the election, he said, I would have won the popular vote too if it wasn't for the 3 million illegal immigrants that voted for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And then he set up a Jeff Sessions-led commission to find 3 million voter fraud instances to prove that, and they couldn't prove it, right?
Yeah.
And then in 2020, he lost to Joe Biden by something like 7 or 9 million votes. And he said it was totally stolen. It was a fraud. It was a sham. It was a stolen election.
Yeah.
And he took court cases in all the swing states and almost every state in the union, and every one of them but a single one was dismissed by a judge.
Yeah.
So there is no proof that there is enough voter fraud that would have swung that election against him, and he is still pushing people to push that claim. I think that's wrong. And in the same way that you said the Democrats are trying to say it was a fake election,
yeah,
or something
goes
was
both
stolen,
ways, right?
they're trying to stop him. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
And I think you would do a difference. You would make a difference in the Republican Party and in the conservative MAGA sphere if you would call out Trump when he says things that are blatantly unprovable. And that 2020 election is not provable to be fraud.
Well, I hope that if I do win the government seat here in Washington State, I hope that I can prove to you the cheating that's been going on here in Washington State, and then that way we can have some peace. You know, okay, I know I'm keeping you here now. I'm finished. We're finished with the talking, but one thing that I tell you, oh my God, I don't want to say I hate this guy. I'm going to say more. I'm disappointed in him.
See,
I'm speaking.
You see, I'm moving you
Listen,
into a calmer, nicer territory.
I always tell people, you can get the best or the worst out of me. It's your decision, your choice.
Sure.
And you're doing
totally
fantastic.
understand that.
I love it. Dan Bongino. I am so disappointed. You know, if you see how crazy I get, because I'm very passionate. That's how I am. I don't fake that. It's
sure. It's really
Dan
good,
Bongino. Epstein files, you know, and I know that this, and the excitement, right, and this passion. Oh shit, let's get this guy in the FBI. This guy needs to be in there, and then he goes in there. No, he killed himself.
Yep.
You know, it's like, what the hell happened? Give it to me with the same passion. Be like, hey, listen, I looked into these records, and we did some investigation here, and doggone it, yeah, everything is legit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it will hit me harder to be like, oh my man, I like this guy. So that's what I.
Can I ask you one final question then on that? Now that you brought it up,
yeah,
you saw the reports that Trump asked Lauren Boebert to come into the Situation Room, which is a no phones, no reporters, no recording devices skiff room of top secret information.
Okay, I haven't heard it.
Okay, well, I'll send you the article if you want to see it. But
okay.
He tried to pressure Lauren Boebert to not sign the discharge petition to get the Epstein files released in the House. And he did the same thing to Nancy Mace.
Okay. All
and
right.
Both of them said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sign the petition because I want justice for the real victims. Whether or not Trump is a victim, I don't want to talk about that. Just the real victims, right?
Yeah, you think he's protecting somebody?
Yeah, if it's not himself, I think he's protecting rich people.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I think there might be something to do with that. Yeah, and I don't like that part, but
sure.
I just know that the truth eventually comes out, and what I want to.
Were you a Marjorie Taylor Greene fan?
No, but I have heard of the things that she said. If she was to. I'm going to tell you how I am. And this is how I will see Marjorie Taylor Greene different. I think she's a traitor. But this is what I would say, okay? And I'm sure that you have heard this before in corporations or businesses or companies you work for. When I work in customer service, technical support for many years. When we got a call, and I used to work for Comcast 9 years. I'm not going to brag about myself. I was very good. A long time ago. I was very good. I'm going to tell you that. Top in the call center. One of the things that we learned right? And I teach this as a coach when I teach soccer, or football to teenagers. We are one team. If we lose the game, we lost the game, not the quarterback, not the so I learned to grab responsibility, right? For you and I, we are in the same team. If you effed up, I'll be pissed at you. But when I talk to our customer, I'm sorry we did this. I'm not gonna say, hey, Serenity did this and how he's got fired. Don't worry about it. No, I apologize. We did. And so I always took at that. If Marjorie Green would have said, we were talking about this and we were deciding this, we didn't agree on this. If she included herself on every single conversation that she's had, I will have more respect for her opinion. But she made it look like, they, and I'm the only one that's looking out for the well-being of the American citizen. They did this, they did that. I think that's a little betrayal that way. And I would have more respect if she, like me, right? When I say sometimes, remember, one of the things that people don't like about me is that I'm very generalizing person. I exaggerate. The whole world knows. We have 10 people in chat. Not the whole world knows. So I do that. But that's the only thing that I have against her. And if she wanted to say something positive about something, well, I think that we can do this. And I brought this up to the Republicans to the table, and I put my opinion on this. But we decided at the end, even though she didn't sign for this or voted for that, we decided, because we're part of the same team, we decided that that just wasn't the right thing. But this was my thought. You know what I mean? It's like you have individualism, but you're not blaming your group. You're including yourself in that, and you take some responsibility. I think that's so commendable. If you try your best to make the best out of the situation, and we failed collaboratively, at least you have your honesty with you. You will still be looked at as a good person, even though the party looks like shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like for example, I'll give you John Fetterman.
I just have a real quick question. What if you're working on a team? Let's say you're working in that call center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got a manager, right? And your manager is the person that leads the team, and you're a cog in the machine. So you're all a team.
Yeah.
But then you have a team leader, right?
Yeah.
A coach of a football team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if your manager goes outside and smokes cigarettes all day and isn't doing his job?
I had that.
and sure, and isn't making decisions that you would agree with, right?
Yeah.
Would you say, you know what, even though me and Dennis were both on the same team and he hasn't been doing his job and he completely, he made the exact opposite choice that we all would have made.
Yeah.
We're all going to fall together. It's all a team effort, or are you going to say, hey, all of us, we were doing the right thing, and it was this guy that messed us all up.
Yeah.
So we need better leadership, and I think one of the strengths that Marjorie Taylor Greene showed is, listen, she's as MAGA as you, right? Before this, she was the face of MAGA to me. She used to go to Washington and follow around Parkland shooters and scream at them.
Yeah, she's vocal. She's very vocal.
She's very vocal, and she was incredibly supportive of Trump. And I think she played a pivotal role in the grassroots movement of trying to get Trump elected.
Yeah,
I think that's totally true.
Yeah,
and I think one of the strengths that she showed.
I heard a question in there.
No.
You were going to ask me a question about it?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think you were trying to ask me a question, and this has happened to me. Now, I guess you'll get to know me better. There's one thing that I believe that I'm responsible for doing my job, and this is the reason why I don't put all the blame on Trump. The manager, hires the supervisor. The supervisor hires the leads and the workers. Our responsibility is taking care of our position. If I am as a regular person, as a regular worker, I am failing at my job, there was a lead that was put there to help me do a better job. That lead is supposed to make me be held accountable for. Now, do I listen to the lead? I don't give a shit about the lead. But the supervisor, yeah, sir, this and that. And the supervisor responsibility is to make us be trained well and look good. And then the manager's position, and then you have the big boss, right? Here's the
Right.
thing: every position has a responsibility. It my supervisor, bro, at Comcast. That I have a lot of different supervisors because they kept switching shifts and stuff. But there was a supervisor, this lady, bro, every 10 minutes, I kid you not, on the clock, like maybe 10 to 15 minutes on the clock, boom, smoke break, smoke break. And I'm just like, where's she at? I need a supervisor. So what they
Right.
finally did is this. They made me, bullshit, they made me a stand-in supervisor, meaning that I'm kind of like an intern, I'm going to be a supervisor in 6 months when the position comes available. So, man, I kicked ass, man. I had people call me and, oh my God, if I would have got you the first time, I would have had this problem solved. And you know what? You're very welcome, blah, blah, blah. The supervisor got the credit. The manager got the credit. I didn't get the credit. And I always believe that if I did my best, okay, if I did my best, that if I make my supervisor look good, the supervisor is going to make the manager look good, and then the manager is going to make the company look
Yeah.
fantastic. I
Right.
did my part. I got no shame on my customer service, on my technical support skills. I did everything that I could. At the end of the day, when I talk to my customers, I never blame my manager. I never blame my supervisor. And when I walked out from the company, I will say this: I think Comcast is a phenomenal company. But you can disagree with that. It's a phenomenal company. It's the most reliable because it's local, wiring, cabling, all these other stuff, upgrades that they've done. Fantastic. I still love Comcast. Did we have a problem in the billing department? Absolutely, 100%. We sucked in billing, and when I say, see, even now I'm doing it. I was very good in billing, but even now I'm doing it. We sucked in billing. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I lost them. We sucked in billing, but I always say we. Not them, not they. Serenity, thank you, man. No problem. Oh, that was you call. Hey, thank you for the conversation, man. I love the respect, but you see where I'm at. Like even today, I'm still saying we sucked at billing as if I'm part of Comcast. I am not part of Comcast, but that's just how I did my work. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. All right. Thanks
Hey,
for.
sorry,
uh,
I heard what you were saying. We sucked in billing, but I accidentally hung up. But
yeah. No.
can I give you my final thoughts and then we can end?
The final thought.
Final thoughts. This is
Go
the
ahead.
last thing I'm
Go.
going to say, and then I'm going to say hey, goodbye, and I'm
Get
going to
it.
hang up, okay?
Get it. Get it.
All right. So, one of the things that I think is very important about being in government is that you need to be able to criticize your own side.
Yes.
You need to be able to criticize your own leadership so that you guys don't groupthink.
Correct.
You're not just, following everybody, okay?
Yeah.
So, whether or not you think, remember, we have different ideas of what the Epstein files contain and what's in them and who's going to get hurt by it, and that's okay. Let's agree to disagree on that part.
Yeah.
But just on the files alone, this is a bipartisanly supported issue.
Yeah.
Trump's campaign and people in Trump's campaign, they ran on releasing them.
Yep.
And Democrats have always consistently agreed that we should release them. Now,
Yeah.
we all have different reasons, but it was a bipartisan issue. And if you look at the polling on this issue, it polls very high, like 79%. It's unheard of how much agreement we have on this issue, okay?
Yeah.
So, when Biden was too old, right, to run, a bunch of Democrats came out of the woodwork and said, you know what, I think this fucker's too old. Maybe he should step down, right? George Clooney, John Fetterman. There were people who came out and said, you know what, this guy's too old. We've had our chance with this guy, but we've got to move on, okay? And they took a lot of crap for that, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was the right call because he literally couldn't do the job anymore.
Yeah.
So we needed to step up and say that, right? And as a representative of government, you are going to have to go back to your constituency and you're going to have to defend the choices that you make, right?
Yeah.
So Trump tried to push everybody into not releasing the files for whatever reason it is, whether you think he's in it or whether you think he's got friends that are in it. or he thinks it's not real, or whatever the case may be, everyone wanted this to get released.
Yeah, of course.
So Trump put Marjorie Taylor Greene in an impossible position, because if she didn't vote to release those files after campaigning on releasing them for 7 years,
Yeah.
she was going to have to go back to her constituency and tell her, we couldn't get it done, and Trump was the one that shut me down. She
Yeah.
would have gotten blown out of her election, just like a Democrat would have been blown out of their election if they went back to their
She
constituency.
did say that. Yeah, she did say that. That it was
she did.
Trump's. It was Trump's fault.
So right. So all I'm trying to say is, if Trump was able to take criticism from his own party, things like that would not happen. But because he cannot take criticism, and if you disagree with him, he will cast you out of the party immediately and say, we're going to primary you. He
Yeah.
put out that tweet that said Marjorie Taylor Brown,
Yeah.
right? Because grass turns brown when it dies or rots, or whatever
Right.
he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
You know, he is,
Marjorie
he's-
Trader Green.
Right. He's putting a target on her back because she wouldn't listen to him, even though she was trying to deliver for her constituency.
Yeah.
Can you and I agree that was a wrong choice on Trump? And Trump should have just said, you know what, just release the files and not fight about it. And he did eventually, but only when it was certain that it was going to pass in both chambers of Congress. Do you agree?
I think there's more to that, but yeah, I agree to a level.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate the conversation. It was much better this time. And hopefully we'll be able to do this again. I appreciate the respect, and
All right.
I will give the same back to you, sir.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Later.
Thanks. Take care.
Hey, thanks for calling. Who am I speaking with? Who is it?
This is Isaiah.
Be nice, Isaiah. I'm not cursing on the call. What did you want to say, Isaiah?
Okay, so basically,
And by the way, my
Like,
name is
ask
Isaiah too, but in Spanish.
wait, how do you say it?
Isaías.
Oh, Isaías?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, good job. Good pronunciation.
Yeah, I used to take Spanish.
Oh, I like it. Good job. Don't stop. Get more years of Spanish.
But, okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
How do I feel about what? Oh, somebody's giving you the question. Go ahead. I don't know. I don't know what that was. I think it's. I think somebody's coaching him to ask a question. Thank you, Isaiah, for calling anyway. Best of luck. You guys, Epstein Files. Listen, the Epstein Files is important, but I just feel that the Epstein Files have been released, whether it was taking too long or whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm sure he is, Janice. I want you to leave that in the courts, in the hands of the courts. Let the justice system take care of it, and we can concentrate on other conversations. We're not going to be able to be judges. We're not lawyers. All the allegations on there, on the Epstein Files so far, have been, the testimonies against Trump has been fake, made up. Like even right now, they're still saying something that they did a couple of years ago that was debunked. They're saying that there is a video of President Trump doing this and that's going to put him out of it. Man, they said that before, after Biden took over, and that never stuck. So I've had it with the Epstein Files. Let it be what it's going to be. I have a problem with so many Americans that are so concerned about the Epstein Files because of pedophiles, right? That's the concern, right? Pedophiles. And I'm okay. I'm with that concern. But the thing that they don't see is that these pedophiles are out there hiding under a religion. They don't like to hear this. But there's a lot of pedophiles hiding under a religion. And that to me is a problem. And so if you're going to concentrate on the Epstein files, you got to be able to talk about the actual problem with child pornography and all these other things that children and minors are going through in today's age. What women are being subjected to. You know, we've had people trying to pass this bill that it will force Congress and senators to release the files of those sexual harassment suits against them, since they're using taxpayer dollars to defend themselves, and nobody on the left cares about that. That's just what it seems like. That's just what it seems like. And I just find that, you know, when people just concentrate on the Epstein files is nothing but the tip of the iceberg. And that's just kind of how I see it, you know, and so it's not that I'm against the releasing of the files. You know, I mentioned this before. If President Trump would have released the files himself from the get-go, unredacted, like everybody's asking, whenever something goes bad with those files, it is on Trump's responsibility, and that's not something that he's willing to take. And I think that the left has been pushing him so hard that he just wants them to take responsibility. And, I mean, we know Congress signed it. They released it. Now Trump just signs it, but it's no longer Trump's doing. Now everybody is responsible for the releasing. And so if anything happens bad with those files, it's no longer in Trump's hand. Sort of like washing his hands like Pontius Pilate. Many of you probably don't know what that means. Coyotes, ow, welcome, my friend. Good to see you again. Pizza guy, where you been, man? How's business? How is the real estate business going? I hope you're doing good, bro. I see you still hating on my peeps. Good to see you guys in here, man. I'm sorry I haven't been able to say hi to you, my man. Welcome, my friend. I see you. I see your comments. Baba, how are you, my friend? My faithful PayPal supporter. I don't know. Only Baba sends me super chats to PayPal. PayPal is the best way that I can get the money. YouTube takes 30% of anything that you guys give me, which is fine. I get it. It's fine, but you know, nonetheless, it's something that doesn't come to me. Okay, and so they take that 30% and taxes out of every monies that I get, and that's how I understand it. But thank you guys for being in here, Brian, my big bro. You know I love you. You know I appreciate you guys' support. I know one day we will actually, God first, we will actually sit down together and have a nice lunch or have a nice dinner. I'm going to tell you something. There's some of you guys out there that are fishermen or you're just into seafood. I want a plate with a lobster tail. I want a ribeye, medium, ribeye steak. And I want some shrimp, maybe a half a fried fish, and a little bit of steamed broccoli and cauliflower and carrots. That would be a fantastic dinner. And then, of course, some sort of special sauce. If there is no sort of special sauce, a little bit of salt and pepper will go a long way. All right? So with that being said, say his name, Alex Pretty. Yeah, he went out there with a gun and on top of that, resisted arrest while having a gun. Fafo, Baba's right, man. Baba is right. Guys, my advice is don't put yourselves in harm's way. All right, I really like the explanation that they gave me on the hearing on birthright citizenship. Let's go ahead and get to, here's an update. Barrel of oil is at $88 as we speak. So it's $8 above the 80 that I said it was going to hit. But that, as we know, that's temporary. Now, we will talk about Iran in just a bit. Let me go ahead and get through my videos that I have for you. Here is an update from Operation Epic Fury. Here we go.
I'm Admiral Brad Cooper here at United States Central Command, where I'm leading the forces executing Operation Epic Fury. First, I want you to know that we continue to keep the families of our fallen heroes and our wounded teammates in our thoughts and prayers. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the families of the 50,000 American servicemen and women deployed in and around the Middle East. I'm grateful for your selfless sacrifice, and I know that Americans across the country hold you in their hearts. Let me start by offering my overall assessment of Operation Epic Fury. In short, U.S. forces continue delivering devastating combat power against the Iranian regime. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. U.S. combat power is building, Iranian combat power is declining. And we remain centered on very clear military objectives in eliminating Iran's ability to project power against Americans and against its neighbors. Every day, we're striking hard at Iranian ballistic missile and drones. To date, we have struck more than 5,500 targets inside Iran, including more than 60 ships, using a variety of precision weapon systems. Just yesterday, we had strike waves nearly every hour from different locations and directions going into Iran. We also took out the last of 4 Soleimani-class warships. That's an entire class of Iranian ships now out of the fight. I'd characterize our strikes as being unpredictable, dynamic, and decisive. Since the first 24 hours of this campaign, Iranian ballistic missile and drone attacks have dropped drastically. But it's worth pointing out that Iranian forces continue to deliberately target innocent civilians in Gulf countries while hiding behind their own people as they launch attacks from highly populated cities in Iran. Of course, forces executing Operation Epic Fury aren't just defending against Iranian threats. We are methodically dismantling them by hitting Iranian missiles and drones, as we also strike their defense industrial base. Just last night, our bomber force hit a large ballistic missile manufacturing facility, as an example. So it's not just about what's shooting at us today, it's also about eliminating the threat in the future. Now, let me show you a few of the results from the tremendous efforts by America's joint force. Here, you see an Iranian Jamaran-class warship, a large patrol ship, a drone smuggling vessel, and 4 other surface combatants docked at Chabahar port in the Gulf of Oman the day before we launched Operation Epic Fury. Here's the same pier 4 days later, all ships taken out of action. This Bayandar-class surface ship was hit and rolled on its side. Here's another example. Here you see 2 Iranian surface combatants docked at an Iranian naval base near the Strait of Hormuz, just hours into the campaign. And here's what they looked like 3 days later, engulfed in flames after we struck them with a precision weapon. For years, the Iranian regime has threatened commercial shipping and U.S. forces in international waters. Our mission is to end their ability to project power and harass shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. From the air, we've achieved a concentration of air power with back-to-back waves of advanced fighters creating constant pressure on the enemy every single day. Our dominance is not a solo effort, it's a testament to the strength of our ironclad alliances. We continue to coordinate closely and effectively with Israel in this very large operation, and we are also coordinating and serving side by side with all of our partners in the Middle East. We're on a path to eliminating Iran's ability to threaten Americans and our friends, and we are achieving this through a combination of lethality, precision, and rapid innovation. Let me highlight a few examples, at least the ones that aren't classified, of how we are achieving lethal effects in entirely new ways. First, our warfighters are leveraging a variety of advanced AI tools. These systems help us sift through vast amounts of data in seconds, so our leaders can cut through the noise and make smarter decisions faster than the enemy can react. Humans will always make final decisions on what to shoot and what not to shoot, and when to shoot. But advanced AI tools can turn processes that used to take hours and sometimes even days into seconds. I continue to be impressed with all the branches of the U.S. military. The entire team is performing superbly. Strike operations from our joint force continue, as I've said. I assess that we are clearly exercising air superiority over vast swaths of Iran. We have the most integrated air defense umbrella in the Middle East, and our defensive operations from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Space Force teams are performing magnificently. A note about the Space Force. Our space superiority has been a critical enabler to this fight. Unseen by the world, the Space Force is doing 2 things. First, they're degrading Iranian capability, and second, they're helping to protect American forces, and I'll have to leave it right there. All told, despite this incredible progress, make no mistake, we remain highly vigilant. And I just could not be prouder of our Operation Epic Fury team, and I know the American people share that same pride. To all our warriors out there, please keep up the great work, and Godspeed. Thanks so much.
only for the Democrat. It's like I'm just very disappointed.
Pizza guy on the phone.
I didn't, to be honest, when I was in India and then Trump became president, I didn't care because, I thought maybe Trump might do a good job. I think but then I'm just so horrified by what's going on. I'm just like, at the time, when I was in India, I wasn't too focused on politics. I'm just trying to focus on my family. Then, the Trump becomes the president and he does nothing but divide the country, he lies and make everything worse. And I'm just like, I'm just so, at this point, exhausted. I'm just like, I'm worried about the future, to be honest, too.
But if we don't defend our country, it's going to get worse for us. And Trump has to look like the bad guy, but he is actually the good guy.
I don't.
I know you don't like him. I know, but still, that's how I how I am. That's what I believe. But hey, man, I will go ahead and give you a call later, or unless you want to make a comment here on the live, since you're on the phone live.
Oh, you're talking about politically, I just think a lot of the things are incorrect. I think maybe I won't talk too much. Maybe just 1 minute.
You're live right now. Everybody's hearing you.
Okay, but I just want to tell them, hey, this is the Epstein war. Trump is a really bad guy. He doesn't care about any Americans. He cares about Russians. Trump is helping the Russians make a ton of money in oil, and then the Russians are giving the Iranians the coordinates of the Americans and killing them. So Trump is helping the Russians help the Iranians kill Americans. And then MAGA still supports this guy. They support the killing of their own troops. It's so sick. These guys are out there in the field trying to protect the Americans, and MAGA is still supporting unhinged, really horrible the worst administration we've ever had.
So you're okay with
Nixon look like Abraham Lincoln.
So are you okay with Khamenei killing tens of thousands of their own people for protesting?
Who? You're talking about Iran?
Yeah, in Iran.
What happened to America first? I thought MAGA was. I care about my country.
Yeah.
We should not be involved with other countries. This is not our
well,
thing,
if we don't take care of that problem, it will come to us.
Okay, how many people did Israel kill? They murdered half their country.
Yeah, but they're not saying. But they're not saying. But they're not saying death to us.
Israel murdered all the protesters, killed everyone in Gaza. You cannot say Iran is killing their. What has Israel done? They've murdered countless people in Gaza, countless people in Palestine. They've tried to kill half their country. You cannot say, "Oh, Iran killed the protesters." What has Israel done? Then
so here,
Israel.
Let me ask you a question.
Being flattened,
Yeah, let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
How many people did Israel kill before they were attacked?
Israel killed
nobody.
Israel were the one. Israel tried to wipe out all the Arabs in that country and
no,
bring white people
they can
into that country and replace them.
That's not true. But what I'm saying is this: if
history of Israel.
If Israel was not attacked by any of the Arab countries that they have been defending themselves from, they would have been destroyed already. Genocide, clear, completely. Every single one of them Jews, just like Hitler.
It's not a legitimate country.
But you can't.
Explain to you what happened after World War II.
But you can't hate.
The of Israel.
Yeah, but you can't hate the people that are just defending themselves.
It's not defense. That's like saying Hitler was defending himself against the Jews. It's like it doesn't make sense.
But what were the Jews doing to Hitler? Nothing.
Can I tell you about how Israel was created and the history of Israel? So Great Britain.
Well, I got my biblical beliefs. Israel is not just the land. Israel is the people. It's not just the land. It's just like I believe Jesus was a Jew himself.
Not just the Jews.
Yeah, Jesus was a Jew himself. We are Gentiles. You and I, we're Gentiles.
He created a new religion. When he died, he created a new religion.
Any descendant from Adam and Eve, they're all God's people.
Jews, they believe you have to kill animals for your salvation. You have to make sacrifice.
Yeah,
they
it's
just
biblical.
Believe in the Old Testament. They don't believe in the New Testament.
Yeah, they live under the law of Moses, but we live under the grace of Jesus Christ. We're different.
Exactly.
But they will be held accountable for that. I want you to know this. The Muslim, the Arabs, they see Khamenei and that regime as Hitler. Why? They're all Muslims. They're all Arabs. You know what's crazy? They have not said that about Israel. Isn't that interesting?
But do you know half of Americans believe that Trump is Hitler?
I don't know about half, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of leftists. There are a lot of leftists.
Trump.
Yeah, a lot of leftists do, but I think most Americans don't believe that.
I mean, even our senators are saying, Mark Kelly, a former astronaut, is
Well,
saying that
he's a
Trump's
traitor.
entries.
I'm glad you mentioned him. He's a traitor. I
Well,
don't, I
he's
don't, yeah,
also a
I don't
traitor.
like
So
him.
every
He's, hey,
Democrat is a
listen,
traitor.
what happened to how many Democrats stood up when President Trump said, stand up if you believe that the government should put American citizens first before illegal immigrants? How many Democrats stood up besides John Fetterman?
Okay, look, the
None.
Democrats. Here's the thing. No, look. Okay, so Trump taking away civil rights acts, laws, that's helping American citizens.
He's
Laws
not
that
taking
Martin
them
Luther
away.
King Jr. and Malcolm X died for, that black people in America literally
Activists.
marched in the streets of blood, getting attacked by dogs, being shot by water hoses. Yeah. And now Trump is trying to get rid of these laws with his crazy Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas, he's a traitor. I don't know how the heck he should be impeached from the Supreme Court.
I
Trying to
agree
get
on
rid of
that.
the Voting
I
Rights
agree. A lot
Act.
of people
Like,
should
what
be
a horrible
impeached.
person,
The whole Supreme Court should be replaced, to be honest. I don't trust any of them. Bunch of morons. But here's the thing. I don't support activists. I just don't.
I just want peace and equality. I don't want like drama. I want the government to.
But they don't
there was
want
less
peace and
drama under
equality.
Biden than Trump.
No,
Trump
they
is,
don't-
Like, always something. On the
Let me give you this, pizza guy. They don't want peace and equality. They want supremacy.
white supremacy. That's why we are voting.
There's no
Democrat
such thing
against
as
the
white
Republican.
supremacy. There's no such thing. That doesn't exist. I don't believe the white man is supreme over me. It only exists if you believe it, right? But here's the thing. You have to understand something. Martin Luther King made it very clear in one of his speeches, not really like a speech, but more of a message. Do not become violent and fight, physically
just peaceful
fight
protesting,
against the people that you will eventually be equal with. Every single victimhood that I've seen, it's from the blacks. Okay, slavery. They never let it go. Now, not all blacks do that. There's a lot of blacks that have. Hold on, don't cut me off. Let me finish. Let me finish. There's a lot of blacks that believe that they're not African American. They're just American, and I'm 100% with that. There is also the kind of people, remember the word Uncle Tom, right? A lot of illegal immigrants that come into my chat in here, I know they're illegal because they be typing in Spanish sometimes. They don't speak English, but they call me Uncle Tom in Spanish. And they only say that because me, as a Hispanic, I believe that every single person in this country that is an American citizen, first of all, and resident aliens, that we are all, we the people, we're the Americans. And that I believe in human rights, just like everybody else. Well, not everybody believes in human rights, but just like most people believe in human rights, I believe in that. But human rights are not the same as legal rights. And so I see this thing to where, the gays were being bullied. Well, now they want to be the bullies. They don't want peace and equality. They want to be better. We have women that didn't have the right to vote. Well, now they can vote. And they've always been equal. We just have different roles. But now they can vote. And then what happens now? Now you get feminists. They have to be more than men. They never want to be equal. They complain about the gap pay, but they don't want to put the hours in. They don't want to put the work in. They don't want to do the things that give you that money. I'll give you an example. Your job, right? You're a big truck driver. By the way, guys, Pizza Guy is a freaking badass driving this big-ass rig. It's like 40 feet long, I think. And I don't know how the hell he drives it, but he's very good. And I'm going to tell you what. You make good money on it, right? But you put a lot of overtime, okay? So you get good money. But what is the problem? A lot of women don't want that. And what do I see? Women driving big-ass rigs just like you do. So they deserve the same pay, the same money. But, that's not how it goes. You want to have peace and equality, okay. But the problem is that, the people that play victimhood, they don't want peace and equality. They want to be supreme, as you call them. And I don't believe in that. So I don't believe the white man is better than me. I don't believe the black man is better than me. I don't believe anybody is better than me. Not when it comes to being a human being. You can be better than me. I cannot drive what you drive, bro. Let me just be honest. I cannot do the math that some people can do. They are completely better than me. But at the end of the day, as a human being, we're all equal. Nobody's more supreme than the other. The only thing that I have heard about supremacy, white supremacy, is the settlers that went to Africa, and the Africans called them white supremacy because they had this technology. You know what the greatest thing about the United States of America is? If you believe that this country of the United States of America is a white supremacy country, one, you can take the white part out of it and you can say supremacy country. I agree. But guess what? You, my friend, are also part of that supremacy country. And the best thing about us is that supremacy doesn't really exist when it comes to races, with races, but we are the country that helps almost every single country in the world, 195 plus.
Democrats, that's true. Under Democrats, that's true. But
Yeah,
under
well,
Republicans,
Trump
they
Trump
cut
was a
USA
Democrat.
USAID, they cut the Republicans. Democrats are the ones who
Well,
give USAID.
yeah, we caught the waste and abuse. The Somali community in Somalia, they're the ones that suffer. Their economy went down because of that. But we still need USID, but it has to be done the right way. We just want accountability. That's why we had audits, and we have been able to find fraud. You'll see. I hope that.
Because they know I'm spent $220 million in ads alone.
Sure.
And even Trump fired. He said, "Oh, I didn't authorize."
He didn't authorize the money, but here's my rebuttal. Kristi Noem. Yeah, I know you don't like her either. You don't like any Republicans. I know that. But
No, I hate them all.
here's the
I
thing.
hate,
Kristi Noem.
Except for Thomas Massey, only Republican I like.
I don't know, man. He's almost Democrat. He's almost Democrat. Here, look. But Kristi Noem, okay, I agree with you with the $220 million. I think she should have been very transparent with the president and say, President Trump, I know you told me to do everything that I can to get this, deportations done, right? In her mind, I'm just giving her the benefit of the doubt like I do to everybody else. In her mind, it's like, yeah, President Trump knows. Of course, I talk to him about this all the time. We have an understanding. But the problem that she didn't see is like, holy shit, that's $220 million. Maybe she got some bids for more than that, and she thought it was going to be best to do 220. All right? Okay, that's just me. But here's the thing. If we had no results, bro, I am with you 100% instead of 10%. Because her campaign has worked. And $220 million to get 3.5 million illegal immigrants out of this country, I think it's worth the money. We spend more money by having them in this country. That's just my take on that. What do you think?
Well, I would disagree. I think immigrants, they add more to the economy and create
Shocking.
more jobs.
You disagree with me.
Not only that, they work for less. If you look at the truth is...
They shouldn't work for less. That's bad for the economy.
Well, they should be granted citizenship faster. You
Why?
Look at Spain, they granted all the people from Latin America asylum, and they granted them amnesty. They gave them legal status just this year.
Yeah. Well, we have a limit.
Yeah.
I mean, we allow about 1 million people to become legal residents in this country every year. But we can't allow massive illegal immigration and tell the world, hey, if you come into this country illegally, first of all, we're going to give you some slavery wages. And then second, if you stay here long enough, just long enough, we are going to make you a United States citizen. Guess what? The whole world, just like when we had an open border with no Social Security, everybody rushed through that border like crazy. Right? So I'm trying not to give a message of, yes, come, all the poor and those who are suffering. And no, we can't say that because then everybody will take advantage of it. Well, like they have been doing so far. So we got to find a way to get in there. All right. I have to go pick up my wife here in a little bit. So I will let you go. Hey, keep doing what I told you to do. They didn't hear our private conversation. Just the issue with Trump, okay? I commend you. I wish you the best. And, man, give me a call another time, okay?
Okay, take care.
All right, be blessed, brother. Love you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah, pizza guy, he's a friend of mine. We had lunch together. He came here to Washington State. We had lunch together, and we will always disagree, it looks like. But I consider him a friend as well. And, I love it. $40 trillion in debt. Whoo! That's crazy. That's crazy. And so what are we doing to help the economy? What can we do to help the economy? Do you think that we have enough homeless? I'm sorry, guys. I can't take any more calls because I got to go pick up my wife here in a little bit, and I want to be able to get my last thoughts in there. Okay. The problem that we have here, we have a lot of homeless. We have a lot of veterans on the street. We have a lot of criminals on the street. And we have a lot of bad things that we got to fix in our country. And I think that is hard enough to do. So the least that we can do is help cooperate, help support immigration law, help ICE agents to enforce it. For Pete's sakes, do not go and become an obstacle. Do not impede. Do not think that you can go over there and override law enforcement. You just can't do that. We lost 2 Americans. Whether I like them or not is irrelevant. They were still Americans. Pretty good. Both gone. That's just the way it is. Common sense. Don't come and try to run over a federal agent with your car. Even if the guy can get out the way, the consequences can be deadly, and it turned out to be. You know, the guy over there with a gun, resisting arrest. Listen, you got the right to bear arms. Hey, listen, I just want to let you know right now, I'm carrying a gun, right? It's my right. I have a gun. I don't plan on using it. And the least he can do is comply. If you want to put yourself in the middle of harm's way, okay? Oh, shoot. Man, I got to change the time on my laptop. I'm an hour ahead on my laptop. I apologize. I thought I was running out of time. We still got time, guys. We still got time. I just feel like these people put themselves in that position. You know what else? There was a guy, a conservative guy that was protesting the protesters. They beat the crap out of him. Yes, and Antifa as well. They beat the crap out of him, almost killed the guy. You know how many people got arrested? None. Leftists seem to always put criminality first. They put illegal immigrants first. They put criminals first before law-abiding citizens. I am for the Second Amendment. That doesn't mean that I want to get shot. All you retards out there that want to be violent, that's not what I'm asking for. But I do support the Second Amendment. Of course, it is an American right, and everybody should have that right and not to be infringed upon. And speaking of the Second Amendment right, let me tell you what you should not do with your Second Amendment right. Here is a guy says, YouTube MAGA supporter told us to put our guns away. Couldn't believe we had that thing on us. Put your guns away, they say. I want you to notice a couple of things. Okay, let me just show you. What do you see right here? I think that's big enough, right? You want me to make it a little bit bigger? I think I can make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I want you to see this. I'm sure you've probably seen this video before. What do you see here? This guy is dressed. He has what do you call that hat? A beret hat, a black beret hat, right? I think that's what it's called, a beret. Look at him. He's got some sort of flag with very suspicious colors, if you know what I'm saying. Right? Red, black, and green in here. He's looking like some sort of militia or soldier from another country. Now, let me tell you something right now. And I know that you can go ahead and argue with this one all you want, but let me ask you something. If you see somebody in a militia uniform, I know the Black Panthers, right? They like to dress all in black and they look like a militia with guns. Well, we are not under attack by a tyrannical government. And to put other American lives in danger, I think is just stupid. But nonetheless, you do have your rights to bear arm and all this stuff. But what is that? I don't know. What do you guys see on there, right? And then, of course, you're going to get a reaction. How about you put the American flag on there? I don't know. Maybe that's stolen valor if you have a weapon. I don't know. I got the American flag on my jacket. That doesn't mean that I'm military. It doesn't say U.S. Army on it. It doesn't say that I'm Air Force or anything. It's just the American flag. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But here you go.
Not at all.
Wait, I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to see something.
So, honestly, you be okay? How am I delusional, Roofer? How am I delusional? Let's say, Don, they already been arresting some, especially one of the main dudes, so you can play your little games, but we know better. Yeah. Trump doing an awesome job. I agree. I agree. As a matter of fact, I'm very proud of Patrick from PBD's podcast. I listen to him sometimes. He served in the military. He knows what it's all about. He knows a lot about finances. A lot of people don't like him, but most people do like him. I like him. He knows a lot about finances. He knows a lot about politics around the world. He knows about history in Iran and Iraq and the Middle East and, and all this other stuff. And I appreciate his input. He recently had a guy, I think his name is Machuto or Machino or whatever the hell his name was. And I was like, man, this guy, what the hell is he talking about? And he sounded like he was very well educated. And I thought, you know what, let me listen to this guy. And then I was like, he sounds like he's twisting the truth. Sort of like, with Pizza Guy, when he talks about the Republicans, he twists the facts when it's, in fact, the Democrats doing it. But, he was talking. I was like, why is this guy not making sense? And then Patrick called him on it, and he says, well, you got fired, right? The Trump got rid of you. And he's like, yeah. Well, the thing that got me pissed off, he said some bad things about my wife. And, well, I'm an Italian. And as an Italian, that's my wife. That's the woman, the mother of my children. Shut the hell up. What things have you not said about anybody's wife or kids or family or whatever? As an Italian, what are you, some mafia guy? You've been watching too many damn Soprano episodes. And I'm just like, okay, now that makes sense. So you are, now everything you say makes sense. So you hate President Trump. I got it. Okay. And that's, I always say this, if you hate the person, you are never, ever going to have a reasonable opinion or deduction of how bad or how good of job they are doing. Somebody did something to Pizza Guy, and now Trump is just the worst. All Democrats are the worst. I love America, Vet. Why do you say I hate America? I'm honest. I'm truly curious. Why do you say I hate America? Have I not proven to you every single day that I do the opposite? What have I done to show you that I am hating America? I don't believe that. I don't believe it. No, he's not worth hating. He's not. He is not. We elected him to do a job. He's doing it. You people on the left try to move earth and heaven to convict this man and to put him in jail and everything. He was acquitted of everything. And you're still not happy. He has been shown that he's not guilty in the Epstein files, and you continue to go after it. I can't tell. I can't tell what the hell you're talking about. What? I just described myself? Man, you guys are going far left. He isn't doing anything. Vet, I don't know how much liquor you drink every day, but let me just remind you of Venezuela, drug boats, the first nuclear strikes on Iran. Yeah, I think that's something. Secure border, something. 34 counts. He was acquitted of everything. He is still a felon because he did go to prison, but he was acquitted of everything. Means that everything was a lie. It was fake. It was dropped. All charges dropped, and they kept the felon title on him. That's fine, but everything. He was acquitted. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Of everything. You know what? Trump was right about everything. Some people don't like to hear that. Don hates Trump, of course, obviously. I can tell who the good people and the bad people are. Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 3 libtards all one after another. Fantastic. All right, let's get our clip in here. This is Paid to Protest. This is from Fox, your favorite libtards media station. Let's take a listen. First of all, I'll mute.
Fox News Alert. This is a story that we started yesterday, the paid network behind some of the pro-Iran protests we've seen across the country. So who's organizing them? Who's paying for them? Well, they appear to be well-funded, coordinated, branded, in fact, and they look a lot like the other protests that we've seen pop up before. Whether or not it was ICE or pro-Palestine, it's the same sign, same language, same structure, literally the same font. Some of the protesters are also the same. They're being paid up to a full salary. Investigative journalist Nate Friedman has been digging into paid protesting, and he recently confronted an education director of a group that we told you about yesterday, the People's Forum. They've been receiving funds from a pro-China, pro-CCP American businessman.
Get a real job, be a real journalist, and do something for something in your life.
How can you say with a straight face for me to get a real job? How can you keep a straight face and say that?
Libtard alert.
Did you or did you not get $20 million from Roy Neville Singham? You can't deny it.
Get him, bro.
There it is.
Meet Layan Fulihan. She's a paid protester. Her base salary is $70,000 with an additional compensation of $8,649. So who is this woman getting paid $80K a year to protest? Layan is a Columbia alum with a Palestinian background.
Fake news, guys. Fake news.
She holds a full-time staff position as an educator at the People's Forum as she protests all around New York City.
Now, we have not independently verified the claim that $20 million flowed from net.
Such an American patriot, isn't she? Ha vet, ha boricua. Such an American patriot, huh? Ha roofer. Isn't that the kind of patriots that you guys love? You guys are very smart.
Roy Singham, who we told you about yesterday, to that person. We do know, and that amount, not for sure, but we know other funds were directly tied to groups like the People's Forum. That figure was reported by the Free Press. Now, host of the Nate Friedman Show, Nate Friedman, joins me now. Nate, great work. You're doing great work on the streets there, often in New York City, confronting, getting to know, actually. That's the best way to describe it. Getting to know these protesters.
Yeah, thank you. I've gotten to know them quite well over the last year.
And how is that? Is it that you're seeing this? I've seen some of your videos, but it's that you're seeing some of the same people at every protest, handing out the same signs or virtually the same signs.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I thought that this was grassroots. I mean, after Trump won the election, I was just wanted to see what these anti-Elon protests were about, because this was a crowd of people that used to love Elon Musk, and now they were calling him a Nazi. So I just went to go and see what that was all about. And then when I arrived, they had, these guards saying, I can't be let in to talk to the protesters. Don't talk to Nate. And this is odd. This is not natural. So that's why I started looking into it.
Yeah, Nate, yesterday here on this show, we laid out some of the groups, the Answer Coalition, the People's Forum, Code Pink, that are really the funding mechanisms through which a lot of these people receive some money. And we did lay out the billionaire who at least is one of the biggest contributors to many of those groups, and Neville Roy Singham. But what you've been able to do is also identify the people on the ground. So in that instance, that lady, she's a full-time paid protester, organizer. There's got to be a lot like her that you see in the crowds.
Yeah, that's right. So how we got Layan was I saw that there was a Columbus Circle Iran protest scheduled for 5 o'clock. You guys, we all see the same signs. They got to come from somewhere. So I went to the People's Forum about 2 hours before they headed out to the protest, and I see all the signs carefully laid out before they go out there. And I also checked to see if they have a back door after they saw me, because I imagine they don't want a viral clip of them all carrying the signs into the van. And I didn't see that option for them, so they had to just come to the front door, and I saw Layan managing everything. And I look at their 990 forms, and she's being paid close to $80,000 a year to be an educator at the People's Forum.
And
hey, I want to make $80,000 a year just doing my job here, entertaining you guys and giving you the truth, because the truth is out there. $80,000. Man, I'm in the wrong party. I might switch to be a Democrat if I was a rat I would have, but I'm not. So we're going to continue to tell the truth, and we're not going to sell out to the libtards.
And to be clear, Nate, you've seen these same paid protesters at anti-Elon, anti-ICE, pro-Palestine, in this case, dealing with the war in Iran.
That's right. For example, David Chung, who works at the People's Forum, also as a general manager, being paid close to $80,000 a year. You can learn more about him at natefreemanshow.com/Freeman Files. But he's being seen at almost every protest that I go to, much less now after we exposed him. But yes, it's the same people.
And last note on this, Nate, I think what's important to know is there are people.
The other thing is that these protesters, they don't even know what the hell they're protesting for. They just know that they hate Trump and Trump is bad, Orange Man bad, Cheeto Man's bad, blah, blah, blah. Lie after lie after lie. And then when you ask them, so what has he done? They don't know. Vet, go ahead and put on the chat in there. Tell me something true.
People on the streets who have no idea what they're wrapped up in. I'm sure that's to be the case. Well-meaning, impassioned New Yorkers or Minnesotans who join these protests. But I think what's revealing here is the spark and the organization behind what they get wrapped up in is totally manufactured. And even if you were one of those protesters, you might want to know that you've become a pawn in someone's larger plan.
That's right. They are so against Trump, though, that I'll tell you, I asked one protester, do you know that your sign is being printed by, with the help of a billionaire? And they kind of weasel themselves out of that question. So you would be surprised. Whatever it is that's against Trump, they're happy to be a part of it.
No matter who's funding it, no matter who's starting it, no matter the instigator, the initiator, or the spark, it doesn't matter because in the end, it's anti-Donald Trump. That's really fascinating. For the rest of us, it's good to remember exactly what's behind this, and you're doing great work there. Nate Freeman, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, before we go, the Will Kane.
I like how these libtards say that he is lying, and yet you see it. You're watching it. You see it right in front of you. Make your own deductions. Make their own deductions. How you sit there and say liar? What the fudge, man? Your TDS is way too much, bro. You need some assistance. That's a mental health problem, my friend. You gotta get the cure from TDS. Keep coming to my show. You're going to get some remedy on that lunacy that you have.
The show made multiple requests, once again, for a comment ahead of today's segment to Lion Fuleon, Neville Roy Singham, the People's Forum, and the Goldman Sachs Philanthropy Fund, through some of which this money flows. And we
Did he just say filet mignon? I'm hungry.
Did not receive a response. All right, ahead, an attempted ISIS-inspired terror attack on America.
Oh, there you go. Fake news. Fake news. Let me see. I think I got something for this. Let me take a look here. Here it is. Let's take a look at this real quick. Here's a report from CNN. The real, original, the truth tellers. This is how they report these two innocent young teenagers. You guys remember this? Two Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day, enjoying the city during abnormally warm weather. Well, well, well. This is the real news. But in less than an hour, their lives would drastically change as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs during an anti-Muslim protest. And let me get that off to move this up. During an anti-Muslim protest outside of Mayor Zoran Mondani's home. By the way, the post has been taken down as far as I know. All right. So that's it. The post has been taken down, but Vet for Democracy, I don't know. That's probably the most lying username that you can ever come up with. How the hell do you call somebody a traitor who is actually defending the nation that you and your partners are destroying? I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. But what I'm saying is that you're libtards. That's it. So don't get mad at me for saying it, calling it like it is. It is what it is, my friend. What is this? Oh, my goodness. You guys, man. You guys are crazy. Drive me crazy. All right, let's see. Maybe I can take one more call here before we get going. I want you to tell me what is fake about this news right now. What is fake about these two young, innocent teenagers? All right, let me go ahead and we'll give you a chance, bro. We'll give you a chance. All right, go ahead and call the number. Go ahead. You better be nice or I hang up on your ass. We had good calls, good conversations. Don't ruin it. They hate you. Who, Jorge? Who hates me? I got nothing but love from true Americans. I tell you that right now. And all the Trump, Latino for Trumps, we're on the same boat. And we agree with each other. Funny how that works. People that actually know how to take care of their nation actually get called traitors. All right, so we're gonna hear some truth from the vet for democracy. All right, thanks for calling, bro. What you got?
Hey.
Lay it on me. Tell me what's going on.
Hey, so listen, man, I'm a
Go ahead.
Okay.
I can't hear you.
Okay, hey, I'm talking. Okay, so what I don't understand is how a man who has never done his own laundry, how a man who's never closed his own car door is suddenly for the people, right?
Yeah.
And we can't have a country. I spent 20 years of my life defending this country. 20 years. I wasn't a 3 or 4 year guy and got out, right? I spent 20 years wearing the American flag on my shoulder.
Okay.
And all I hear from the right wing is that the left can't be patriotic.
True.
Libtards, you're calling all this.
Yeah.
This is untrue.
It's
This is
true.
untrue. And you're hearing this from places like Donald Trump. You're hearing this from places like Fox News.
Yeah.
And it's dividing us. It's not bringing America together. He's done nothing to try to bring America together.
Mm-hmm. And
so
okay.
You cannot deny these facts. You can't deny that he said he wasn't going to do anything in Iran, and he did. You can't deny
That's not what he said.
that he said he was going to bring prices down on day one.
He did.
And he hasn't. Gas prices have soared now because of something that shouldn't have taken place in Iran. Look, I was in Iraq in 2003, brother. I invaded Iraq in 2003. We didn't need to be there, and I lost a lot of friends because of it.
But you are a soldier. You made an oath to us. So why are you against that? That's what you signed up for.
I'm not against the oath.
Well, you signed up for it. You signed up for it.
I was good with Afghanistan. I was good with going to Afghanistan after
Okay.
9/11.
Yeah.
I was in basic training when 9/11 happened.
Okay.
And I was all down for going to Afghanistan. Go get Bin Laden. Let's go kill those motherfuckers.
Okay.
But that didn't happen. We went to Afghanistan and we sat on our asses and did nothing and let them bomb us and kill us. And then we went into Iraq for no reason. And we spent more money in Iraq. We lost more soldiers in Iraq. And we wasted more time in Iraq over nothing. Afghanistan was fine. But what we did in Iraq was a waste of time, and it was a waste of blood. I watched people suffer and die in that country just so people could make money. And that's exactly what is happening in Iran right now.
That's war.
That's not war.
That is war. Whether you
Just to
like the
make money?
result, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the
To make
result
money.
is.
So it's
You
okay
need money to
that
make the
people-
world go round.
So, no. You cannot tell me that it's okay sacrificing people so a billionaire can make another buck.
It was Afghanistan that saved you cowards against the Soviet Union, says Dub.
What?
It says it was Afghanistan that saved you cowards against the Soviet Union.
Who saved what cowards? I wasn't in the army during when the Soviet Union was in Afghanistan. What's that got to do with anything?
No, that's just a comment from one of the listeners.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
No. I'll read them for you because I know you're on the phone. That's fine.
Yeah. So
No, so my problem is this. Okay, listen. So I know we have bad history, and I know I listen. Ronald Reagan was looked into for some arm deals, right? I get the idea of why he was doing this.
He armed the Iranians.
Yeah. We trained the cartels. We trained the Zetas. I know that, but you know, you have to understand. Even though they're, I'm always been against that. By the way, I'm always been against teaching other soldiers from other nations to fight like we do because it always comes back to bite us in the ass. But with that being said, they were done with good intentions. Whether it failed, it backfired. Yeah, I get it, but they were done with good intentions. Was there mistakes in Iraq? I'm sure Iraq is a lot better for what happened in Iraq.
No, it's not.
That's what I hear from Iraqi people. So
no, it's not.
Yeah, you can ask them. I'm listening to them. See, one of the things that I dislike about the left, because only the left does this, and this is what you hear all the time from me. I am a Hispanic. I speak from my history and my culture and my country. And I hear the leftists and even some rhinos, they're out there and they are so sure, so convicted in the core of their soul that the president, my president of Honduras, was a drug dealer, a sort of cartel like Nicolas Maduro. And yet, in my country, I know he's the only one that has made war against the cartel, especially from the Cartel de Soles. He's the only one that defended the general for shooting down 3 small planes full of cocaine that came into Honduras. He is the only one that has ever tried to fight against criminals in our country. And what does he get for it? He gets 45 years sentence. Lucky President Trump pardoned him, and I appreciate that. Meanwhile, the
Trump
actual
also
president.
A lot of people who are back in prison
Sure,
right now.
we're not going to go into what Trump does for that.
That's
Part of that's his power, but that's his power.
Why support a man who is he's a known sexual offender. He's a known
He's not
fraud.
known. He's alleged.
No.
Never been convicted. See, that's the problem. That's why I'm against you. You guys are judge, lawyers. You got all these proof facts. You don't have the right to your own facts. The facts are the facts.
So he never said, "I just go up and grab him by the pussy."
Yeah, but what about it? It's true.
Did he
so
ever
what? He can do that.
Bullshit.
Yeah, why not?
Did he ever say on a Howard Stern show? I walk into the Miss
Oh, the whole pageant. Please let it go, bro. Let it go. Just let it go.
These are he is. If anything, he deserves to be investigated for Epstein, and you know it.
Okay, that's great. But that's the problem that I have with you people.
So you support. So if you
no, it's not about supporting that lifestyle. That's not what I'm saying. You're missing the point. You're a pedophile.
I'm a pedophile.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Exactly. See, you're not a pedophile, are you?
Look,
but hey, I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice. You are a pedophile. Of course you're not, right? You're not a pedophile. Of course not.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make a point.
Don't start with me, son.
When people, I don't know how much older you are than me, but your 20 freaking years in the military didn't teach you shit. Because you would have learned something of a third world country. No, you're being. Well, how does it feel? You're doing that to my president. You're saying it to my president. Yeah, my president.
He's not. He's supposed to be the president of everyone.
He's my president.
He's only the president for MAGA.
If you offend my president, I'm offended. How's that?
You see, that's the difference.
Well, okay, it is what it is, my friend.
That's the difference between MAGA and any other party, even the Republicans. Because you could insult John McCain and Republicans didn't get.
He's a traitor. Yeah.
You could insult Obama.
Yeah.
Democrats
he's also a traitor.
Wild.
Yeah.
But insult Trump, you guys are willing to draw blood.
Why?
You guys are ridiculous.
I have said great things about Obama. Do I like him? No. Do I disagree with a lot of the things he did? Yes. But the policies were solid. I agree with him. And those are the same policies. That's the same policies that Trump has in place. So one of the things that you always miss. You never listen. You don't pay attention. Listen.
Obama did not have people going door to door with no judicial warrants snatching people out of their homes, and you know it.
Is that right? Is that right? Let me go ahead and tell you something about that. Let me tell you something about that. You see, but here's the problem. You're ignorant about the facts. Because here in Washington State, sir, even without a warrant, they deported thousands. Wait a minute. Let me finish. They deported tens of thousands of illegal immigrants without warrants. They went to businesses. They went to companies. They told them they were going to have a meeting about a promotion, and then they deported them. The difference is, hold on, let me finish. Don't interrupt me. And then the government, the Democrats, of course, because they're Democrats, they allowed Obama to get those criminals from jails, from facilities where they had criminal illegal aliens being held. And that, my friends, is the difference. Let's not forget that Obama is the one that created those cages for the kids. And then AOC went out there and took a picture, a prop photo, just to go against Trump. Let me tell you something. You know why I defend Trump so much? Because you guys keep putting all these alleged, things on him without proof. Period. Now, what I want you to do is this. Forget about the hate you have for Trump and tell me, what do you not like about the policies? That's what I want to hear.
Okay, so here's policy number one that
Go ahead.
don't like.
Go ahead.
Okay, he is not just snatching. They're not just going to Home Depot and workplaces and getting people. They're not just tricking people. They are going to people's immigration hearings. They're trying to do it legally.
Why?
And they're showing up at the courthouses and arresting them and deporting them. They're snatching people's kids up, and then when they go to find their kids, they're arresting the parents. They're going into people's homes without judicial warrants signed by a judge, all right, which is constitutional. You have to have a warrant signed by a judge to come into my home. Show up to my house without one, and you're getting kicked off my property. That's what's happening right now. ICE is doing this. DHS is doing this, and no one's being held accountable for it whatsoever. Pete Hegseth, as the Secretary of War, whatever, the guy's a joke. He's a chode. He's fucking not worth.
Hey, respect as your commanding officer.
He's not my.
Respect the military. I don't give a shit what you think about them, but respect the military.
He's not the military.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No, he's not.
Well, that's your opinion. Okay, what? But policies. Tell me about policies.
He spent $100 and something fucking $1,000 on fruit stands. He's spending money on steaks and lobsters. They're spending $1 billion a day in Iran.
You're saying that our military doesn't deserve those things?
Iran.
As long as they got a good deal on it, why not?
They don't have money for Medicare, or they don't have money for food assistance.
That's something different. That's not the policy.
We're spending $1 billion a day in Iran for no reason.
Vet, that's not a policy. Stick with the policy.
Tell me why we're in Iran.
Stick with the policies. What else do we have?
Tell me why we're in Iran.
You already know why we're in Iran.
No, I don't.
Well, then oh my God! You served 20 years in the military, and you don't know logic about strategizing, about defensive protection, about preventive strikes. You don't know about this thing. What kind of military service did you do? Army on the ground?
Yes, I was.
Okay, there you go. So you are what? What do they call you guys? What do they call you guys? They called you what? What was the name that they gave you? What do they call you guys? Jarheads?
That's the Marine Corps.
Is that a Marine Corps? What is for the military, for the Army?
There isn't one. We're the motherfucking Army, guys.
All right, put your pride aside. You didn't know shit about his strategies.
Look, I know all kinds of shit about strategies.
No, you can shoot and you can follow orders, and that's it.
Listen, I've got to run a war warrant in my house right now for catching the number 3 most wanted guy in Iraq in 2008. And because I planned and strategized the entire thing as his fucking staff sergeant.
So
don't tell me.
So I don't understand why you're ignorant about what's going on in
What
Iran.
I'm telling you is Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. They had 3%
60%.
You know what that's used for?
60%.
No, they did not.
Yes, they said that. They themselves said that.
They lie because
Well, that's their fault for lying. That they shouldn't lie. They shouldn't play games. They said
7 months ago they destroyed their entire nuclear program.
yes, correct. And what did they say in return? Ha! We actually have enough uranium, enriched uranium. Well, hold on. We actually have enough uranium. Bro, let me finish, man. You asked me a question, and I'm giving it to you. They said we have enough enriched uranium at 60% to create 10 nukes.
No, they did not.
Well, hey, listen.
Who said that?
They did. The Iranians did. And even now, they're threatening us. Death to America. Soldier, tell me, soldier, 11 bombs, pardon me. Tell me, soldier, what would you do to, now, hold on, soldier. What would you do to a country, a regime that says death to American citizens? Tell me that. What would you do?
Listen to me.
What would you do?
What I would do.
Death to America.
What's actually happening are 2 completely different realities, man. You're living in a whole different reality. All of MAGA lives in a what would you do reality.
Okay, listen very carefully. And I don't want you to. I don't want your TDS to get in the way.
Reality, bro.
I want you to listen very carefully because I don't want you to misunderstand. You ready?
Yeah, trust me, I'm ready for your.
I don't think you are, but here we go. And everybody's my witness on this chat. I'm gonna kill your family. What would you do?
Listen to me. You're talking in hypothetical.
No. Let's say it. Let's say what it is. Let's say you. Hold on. No. See, that's the bullshit that I don't like. Let me finish. Let me give you this scenario. Okay, hold on. I am a known guy for killing people, my own people. I'm gonna kill. Listen, just fucking listen, bro. Damn, you got some TDS really hard on you, man. Listen. I have a known record of killing my own people. There you go. That's what I thought. So I have a record of killing my own people. If I say I'm going to kill your family, I would have taken that seriously. Does that make sense? I don't understand the logic. Like you don't want to listen. If you don't want to listen, man, how can we have a conversation? I get it. You don't like Trump. I get it. But your facts are not, you don't have the rights to your own facts. The facts are the facts. We went and did a precision strike, obliterated the nuclear facilities on the mountains. Done. All right, here we go. Listen, if you don't stop doing the researching of uranium, if they never said death to America, if they never said death to Israel, okay, no problem. Allow them. Well, I didn't hang up, so you got caught, and that was it. You're not listening anyway, so we'll just leave it at that. If they are threatening people, I tend to believe them. You know how many people have threatened me to come and kill me and my family here? I tend to believe them, and I got to be in defensive mode. I believe threats. I am not going to be responsible for ignoring a threat. 9/11, they were warned. They ignored it. And look what happened in 9/11. It's 20 years serving in the military as strategist, supposedly. You don't understand why we are hitting Iran right now? Let me remind you that we have been trying to negotiate 47 years of war against the United States of America, and we've been sanctioning. We've been putting this, and we've been putting that. President Trump was very clear. If you kill one protester in Iran, we're coming after you. You know what? They kill tens of thousands of their own people They are still running people over with their military vehicles because they're on the streets protesting. And yet, you don't want to know or understand why we're in Iran? I cannot believe 20-year veteran, 20 years serving in the military. How is it that a civilian will have more sense than you? How is it that you don't understand what being patriotic is? If you have orders, you follow them. If they're unlawful, then you don't follow them. But if you are in war, you gotta obey the orders. If you don't, you put your people at risk. Your whole platoon, the whole military strategy will go down the shit. You have to follow the orders. Now, I'm going to say, I appreciate my veterans. You guys already know that. I love my veterans. We're trying to have this going back and forth. You keep lying to me, and I don't like it. I told you to put all these allegations that have been set to rest in court. Why are you fighting with me when we're not judges? We're not lawyers. The court decided what they decided. Do I like the decisions? No. I don't trust the Supreme Court. I don't trust judges. Too many damn activists out there. The law, justice, the fair lady, she's no longer blind. She's picking sides. We have a rogue judge from a district court telling President Trump he cannot deport illegal immigrants. Unfreaking believable. These people that you talked about that have been deported from courts, they have orders of deportation. They've been here for years. And we're not going to have somebody in this country illegally for years because we were stupid. If anybody stays in this country illegal for years, it's because they didn't get caught yet. That does not make it right for them to be here illegally. It's acquitted, bro. It's in the books. It's in the books. Man, I even posted a picture of it. I will say this. Do people make mistakes? Yes. Is there friendly fire? Yes, it happens. Mistakes are made. Nobody's perfect. But I can tell you something. When Venezuelans were celebrating the capture of Nicolas Maduro, they were not only the ones that support Nicolas Maduro, the tyrant, but those people were dancing on the street. Even here they were dancing. All of them. All 90% who voted in their democracy. They all celebrated. The other 10% that were paid by the corrupt dictatorship, communist Nicolas Maduro, those are the ones that went against it. And then all the libtards, here you go, the word that you like. All the libtards go out on the street like what we just saw, a paid protester making $80,000 a year. What a damn Judas. What a traitor. You sell your country for money. Let me see. Let me. I generalize a lot for a reason. That's just the way. That's my Hispanic side. Let me see. Lean, how are you, bro? You're one of the. Oh, thanks, man. Can we see your hairline, please? Lean, don't, man. You were doing so good. What the hell is that about? That's crazy. If you want to see my hairline, you need to watch a different video where I don't have a hat. Or my shorts. Sometimes I don't wear my hat on my shorts. Let's see, Earshot. I know you're always against me, so let me see what you say here. Let's see. Not all of them, Dennis. Not all of them. Come on. Bro, they show the reality, show the truth. I don't know what the hell that means. Let's see. Follow my daddy. Absolutely. Trump is my daddy. Gregory, hey, buddy. Gregory says hello. How you doing, Greg? Welcome to the Dennis Herrera show where everything is controversial, apparently. You know, it doesn't matter how much I try to celebrate. Listen. When you betray your commander-in-chief because he's doing what he believes is best for his nation, I'm sorry. You bring no honor. 20 years, 2 decades of your life wasted because you have no honor, because you betray your oath. 2 decades. You served in the military. And now today you're betraying the oath that you made. You do it to the Constitution. You're making an oath to the people. We the people. You don't understand what Make America Great is. You don't know what making America first is. That is the problem, vet. You don't understand. If we don't show strength, and this is why I love and appreciate my soldiers, our soldiers. If we don't show strength, these bullies will never stop harassing us and wishing death to us. And let me remind you, you think right now you think that you're safe? You probably don't even know how many millions of illegal immigrants that are from those terrorist countries, from those terrorist regimes, are in our land. They play the victim so that you feel sorry for them, and before you know it, they won't think twice before they take your head off. That, my friend, is reality. It sucks. But is it true? It's the truth. You can't deny the truth. Again, you served 2 decades in the military and you still don't know how to look out for the well-being of your American citizens. Listen, I don't know what PTSD you have or what TDS is bothering you with. I feel sorry for you that you have to go through that type of mentality. But I'm sorry, man, you might have to go to an asylum and seek some rehabilitation. I suggest, as Janice does, to seek Jesus and pray to God to please renew your mind and bring peace back into your heart. I can imagine what it's like to lose your brethren in war. I can imagine. I know how I felt when my cousin was brought to us in a black garbage bag, cut to pieces. But I can't imagine what you feel in war. But I can tell you, I know what it feels like to lose a family member to violence like that. So don't give me this righteous soldier bullshit. You can be fighting for 50 years, but if you turn against your brethren, you are not an honorable soldier. You are not an honorable vet. And I hope that you change your mind about that, because I really feel sorry for you. I really do. I really do. You have bought into this leftist ideology and all this fear-mongering and all these fake accusations and allegations, and you speak about them like they're facts. I gave you an example. I called you a pedophile to give you an example, and you got offended, and you jumped, and you got angry. And I said, I'm just giving you an example of what it is to allege that somebody is somebody. You couldn't take it. You went off on me, right? I get it. I get it. I really do. I know plenty of soldiers that have kept their oath. You know what's amazing? I get interactions from veterans, real soldier veterans with honorable discharge. They complete their military service, and they have but the greatest things to say about the United States of America. Will they ever say that everything was perfect and that everything that they were ordered to do was probably the best thing? Probably not. But they have to do what they got to do. I'm gonna go ahead and open your eyes a little bit. In these terrorist Muslim countries, notice that I say terrorist Muslims. A lot of Muslims, they're just like the religion for their other reasons, and I'm not gonna get into it. They indoctrinate 6, 7, 8-year-old boys and girls to carry AK-47s, and they are raised with the mentality, with the only knowledge of death to America. They are raised to be one person with one purpose only. And very rarely do these young men, these young boys, turn out to be good men. They realize the error of that indoctrination. And I think that that's important to know. If you are a libtard you act like one. But if you're not, you will have common sense. So when you hear on the news, oh my God, there's many children got killed. Okay. I understand there's going to be casualties in any attack, in any war, in any battle. Innocent people, yes, might lose their life. But at the end of the day, you gotta admit, you gotta understand that, you and I, we believe that our children are children. I'm not gonna go and be with a 10-year-old and marry them. I'm not even gonna be with a 17-year-old and go marry them. I mean, it's bad enough that, I'll be 50 and then I marry somebody that's 20 years old, 21 years old. It is what it is. There's a big gap in age. But they're older, they're over 18, which is the legal consent age for them to be adults. They just can't buy alcohol. They got to wait till 21 years old. But they don't see it that way. I kid you not, and it's very disturbing. I'm going to be very honest. I am sorry. If you have a child listening to my conversation, please take them away. Change my channel. Don't listen to this. They truly believe that they can sleep with somebody. What's the word for before puberty? Non-pubescence? Pubens? I don't know what the hell it's called. Before puberty. That means younger than 11, maybe between 11 and 13 years old, younger than that. They believe that Islam allows them to sleep and marry a child. So when you try to categorize our Western values with their idiotic religion, you have to call it for what it is. We are not okay with an adult being with a minor, especially before puberty. If you don't know what that is, it's before you get hairs on your balls and before you get your period. Non-pubescence. Thank you, Nathan. That is I was trying to translate it, but I got close to it. Non-pubescence. They're okay with that. So when we say innocent children, we believe it. But they don't. They don't care. I'm not making this up. It's what they believe. It's crazy, right? Let me see if I have. Let me take a look and let me see if I have it on my history. And I think that somebody talked about it. Let me see. Where are you? Maybe I watched it on my other device. It didn't register, but let me see if I can search it. I don't think I'm going to find that video. But anyway, that's, it is a fact. There's a lot of people out there that have experience with a lot of the Islam belief, that Muslims believe. And while there is people that mean well in Muslim, they all will agree. I mean, come on. Their most holy prophet, Muhammad. Come on, you guys know the story. He married a non-pubescence, Aisha. What was that? She was like, 7 years old? And the only rule was he had to wait until she was 9 years old. And that is your most high prophet. Be real and be honest to yourselves. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. So for those of you who are still believing that I'm a traitor to America, please, you guys are traitors to America. All right, let's see. We're going to change gears up in here. I do have to go pick up my wife. Let's see, 3 o'clock. I got another 15 minutes. And then when I come back, for you patrons that want to come back in here, we're going to listen to the speech from President Donald Trump. If you are against Trump, you guys don't have to tune into my next live when I come back on live, okay? Save yourself the hassle, the heartache, and all of that stuff, okay? Let's take a look. Here's a clip from the Rubin Report from Dave, and I want to hear what he says. Let's take a look.
Do you run a risk of being on the wrong side of President Trump in your resistance to do this talking filibuster, tying the Senate in knots for weeks?
Really what the future of America is about is, will we have a system in place for our elections that will ensure that only Americans vote? And there is a party in this country right now that simply does not want that. The SAVE Act is designed to make sure that only people who are citizens can vote. Democrats are freaking out, and we have several squishy Republicans. Let's just get an update here from the Daily Wire. Senate Republican leaders are signaling that the path forward for the SAVE Act demanded by President Donald Trump could be far more complicated than some conservatives expect. Speaking to reporters Wednesday, Senate Majority Leader John Thune suggested much of the current pressure campaign surrounding the legislation is being driven online rather than inside the Senate itself. The SAVE Act would impose new nationwide election integrity requirements, including proof of citizenship documentation to register to vote and voter identification requirements for ballots cast in both person and by mail. The House has already passed the bill, and Trump has recently increased pressure on Senate Republicans to move it forward, declaring he would refuse to sign legislation that does not include the SAVE Act. But Thune indicated even many Republicans remain uncertain about how the Senate could realistically pass the measure. There's support among GOP senators, he said, but the process and how do you ultimately try to get a result is still unclear to me. Some conservatives have floated forcing the legislation through using the talking filibuster strategy designed to pressure Senate Democrats and move the bill forward with a simple majority. Thune, however, warned that the tactic would be difficult to execute. The talking filibuster is one on which there is not certainly a unified Republican conference, and there would have to be, he said, after a Senate GOP meeting. So let me explain this for those of you that don't pay attention to every little bit of procedure in the Senate.
Listen here, libtards.
You need 60 votes, right? So let me back up. What you need actually is 50 votes plus JD without the filibuster. Okay, so the Republicans can do this, meaning that right now the Republicans have 53 seats, okay? So right now, to get the SAVE Act passed without the filibuster, they need 7 Democrats to come across to get 60. There is zero chance, zero. First off, you need all 53 Republicans. You have some loser Republicans like Mitch McConnell, who doesn't even know where he is, right? So there is zero chance you're going to get the 60. By doing what they call the nuclear option and the talking filibuster, you can do it. You can do it with a simple majority. Now, the argument against it is a procedural one. The argument against it is, if we do it with a simple majority, then what will the Democrats do when they have it? And I understand that argument. And I actually believe in the Constitution, and I believe in the separation of powers, and I like proper procedure. However, we are in a time now where the Democrat Party is so radically against America, radically against free and fair elections, clearly for fraud, clearly for flooding our country with illegals, openly saying they will pack the Supreme Court when they can. Every single norm that we have, the Democrats are in opposition to. And they are telling us that when they are in power again, they will do everything they can to shred all of those norms and rules and foundational documents. Here is Thune being more of a donkey head.
Do you run a risk of being on the wrong side of President Trump in your resistance to do this talking filibuster, tying the Senate in knots for weeks?
We don't have the votes either to proceed, get on a talking filibuster, nor to sustain one if we got on it. But that is just a function of math. And there isn't anything I can do about that. I mean, I understand the president's got a passion to see this issue addressed, as we all do.
Does he understand that, though?
Well, we've conveyed that to him, but we will continue to make that argument, because I think it's important that everybody understand that this really is about It's about the votes. It's about the math.
Again, I'm just not totally sure what he's saying here. Yes, they don't have the 60, but as I just illustrated, there is a way around it. They have the 50 at minimum plus JD as the tiebreaker. So what he's saying there is, well, yes, we can't do it the traditionally nice way, but I don't think he's hearing what Trump is saying or what I've just said or what I think it's something like 91% of Republicans are saying, which is you pass this thing no matter what, because otherwise we're giving away the keys to the kingdom. Gunther Eagleman over on the Twitter/X machine tweeted, does John Thune realize how bad he is effing up? And Elon responded and said, not yet. Here's a bit more from Thune talking about MAGA's expectations doing this without a Democrat.
President Trump told me yesterday that it would take Democratic votes to pass the Save America Act. Do you think the MAGA base has an unrealistic expectation of passing that legislation without Democrat support?
I think there are a lot of optimistic views about what Democrats may or may not do. We all know, because we deal with them every day, that the Democrats are not all of a sudden going to decide that this is something they want to be for.
Yes, they're not going to, but...
All right, let me go ahead and clarify this a little. That's a fair question, mind speak. Okay, so according to the Bible, what I believe, according to the Bible, I believe it was between 14 years old and older, okay? Now, I want you to keep that in mind. Now, Muslims believe is before pubescence, right? We've established that. And let's be honest, after 13 years old, I think 13 or 14 years old, women are most likely fully developed. They already had their period, and technically, yes, they can get pregnant. And while this might have been a custom back in the days, and I had made my claim before, my mother was 15, my father was 27, 28 when they got married. This was what's happening back in the day. What I want you to understand is this. You believe that any adult that sleeps with a minor under 18 years old is a pedophile, right? You believe that. Why? Because we have a law in this country. Now, the problem with Muslims is that they believe the Quran is above the United States law. So I am not making excuses for that, but we are also in the same way living on a different time. So today we know by law, not by moral grounds, by law, we know that anybody under the age of 18 is a minor and should not be having any type of contracts or sexual things with adults. That's the law. Do you see the difference? Muslims believe the Quran is above any law of any country. And this is why we keep saying to people that that religion does not, it just doesn't meet, we can't mix. That religion, we cannot accept it in this country. Can they pray to the God? Of course they can. But they have to assimilate to our laws, to our way of life. So I'm going to tell you something. If over there in the Muslim countries, in the Arab countries, they want to say we can marry 9-year-olds, then shut up about the Epstein files. If in Israel they want to do the rules, 14 and as young as 14 and up, then shut up about the Epstein files. This is their culture. This is their law. Here in the United States of America, we have a consenting age of 16 to 18 years old, but they are still considered minors. Now, while they can say yes to sexual activities with other teens, they're still considered minors. And if you are an adult, you will be going to jail. That's our law. And so they can do whatever they want over there. But if they bring it here, if you can tell me, if you can prove to me that Israelis or Jews are doing that here, let's talk about why we don't like Epstein. He's a Jew, right? I believe he's a Jew. Look what he did. He broke our law. And this is why we're pissed off about the Epstein thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's not really that complicated. It's really not that complicated. But we are living in today's time. We're not living in our past. As I said, my mother, I don't have to repeat it, right? I believe that we have to make a choice. I will never go be with a minor being an adult. As a matter of fact, no offense to women out there that are in their 20s, don't want it. Don't like it. It doesn't feel right to me. 30s and 40s, up to 60s. If I was single, but I am married, 15 years married to the same Samoan woman. I love my wife. I really do. I think she's very special. Drives me crazy. Makes me mad. A lot of the times, I got my disagreements with her. We argue. But I love my wife. And everything that I accomplish in my life is all for her and our kids. If she leaves me, she keeps everything. That's why we are men and they are women. God bless her. God bless my children. May they always be prosperous, with or without me. I wish every single one of you peace, love, and prosperity. I mean that. Vet, I hope that you find some peace, my friend. Thank you to Serenity for calling in, making amends. I always tell people you can always get the best out of me or the worst. I will see you guys not too long, okay? I promise. And after I pick up my wife, I'll probably grab something to eat, and I'll come back and we'll listen to the speech from President Trump, as some of us may have missed. Guys, my speak, you know I love you. You know I love you, bro. You're my Salvadorian brother. Much love. Cutting edge, biggest supporter, Dominican Republican. We're all Americans now. I love you guys. I understand if you're confused about something. Sometimes I am too. All right? You know what? Putting up with people like Roofer, that's a tough job. Nonetheless, I am here to entertain you and give you my opinion. God bless you. God bless your family. Baba, much love. My man, take it easy. I'll see you guys in a bit. God bless your families and God bless the USA.